Holy shit! Episode 10, guys! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chain Dogs podcast. We had a couple of weeks off. We're going to be talking about what we've all been up to, especially Mikhile. He's got some god tier coasters to talk about. And we've also got Halloween recaps. We've got Fright Night recaps. We've got Scarefest. We've got the Attractions Saw Scare Amazing event recap as well. Hello to everybody who's watching right now. Do us a big favor, give us a thumbs up on the video as well. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, we're back. Episode 10. Let's go.
Hey, woo. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've missed your faces.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we speak like almost every day, but I mean, like we don't like do calls like this every day. So it's
we should honestly.
Yeah, I feel like it's been like forever. Like everyone's done so much in 2 weeks.
I've got news.
That's been absolutely mental for
that.
You've got massive news.
Yeah, if people saw the stream that we did a couple of weeks back, with just me and Luke.
Yeah,
I said that I had a driving test coming up, and I passed.
Oh, you passed.
I passed. I did not fail. I passed.
Well done, man. Well done, dude.
Yeah, well done.
So driving to Towers.
Yeah, just address the elephant in the room, and we're not talking about Flamingo Land's interview. We're talking about Sean's internet quality at the moment today. He's having a few problems, so just bear with that. But
it had to be this episode, didn't it? It had to be.
Yeah,
it did. I mean, we can hear you perfectly, but you're just not
we can't
moving.
see you. You're frozen.
You're like a Madame Tussauds wax figure at the moment.
As long as the audio is so fine, the podcast people will appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah. So if you are listening on Spotify, give us a follow. Apple Podcasts, give us a five-star rating. That would be awesome. But yeah, let's get into this then, shall we? So are we gonna
YouTube? He prefers.
Yeah, I hate it. Sean's like, nah, I don't want my face on Chain Dogs anymore. I'm just gonna be like a hologram. So Flamingo Land, if you didn't see, it's a shame we don't have it to queue it up because I would just play it and just proofs in the pudding. They haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. To put it lightly,
I haven't seen this interview, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah, this is news to me. I
explain what.
Right, you guys have got 2 minutes of time. Go to my Twitter page and just watch it. Right,
your Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, my Twitter. Right, and I want to get Sean. Are you still there? Joe, what did you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, all right. Yeah, the guy had no idea, did he, exactly what the hell was actually going on? I mean, maybe it's opening in summer 2022, maybe it isn't. However, can I just acknowledge the fact that this is the first time the park's talked about this roller coaster since early 2020? So at least they're actually talking about it and acknowledging the fact it's there. Well, it's the truth, isn't it?
Sorry, that's hilarious.
I don't know. It's one of them. I mean, hopefully, yeah, summer 2022 would be ideal. It's the peak of the season. It's going to pull in the most visits, but it needs to open now. It really does. There needs to be more clear as to what's going on. So we'll see. I'm on the fence at this time. I really am.
Yeah. Oh God, I've still got my note. Sorry. Schoolboy error. Oh, there we go. I muted it just in time. Notification came through.
Actually, that's the point.
What coaster? Yeah, that's a good point. Aaron.
Yeah.
So we're talking about obviously the 10 inversion coaster that's being built at Flamingo Land. Now, that has been built. It's just standing there like it has done at every other park it's ever been built at.
Sitting and rusting.
Yeah. Sean, what did you think? Considering this was the first update from the park to acknowledge its existence, it wasn't like I don't know.
It's just not working, mate. I can't hear what you're saying. I'm going to restart my computer and I'll come back.
Okay,
hang tight, guys. All right,
cool.
To be fair, that is a pretty good representation of that interview, to be honest with you. So, it's not too... I mean, but we've been saying it for weeks. Well, we've been saying it for months. Oh, actually, now screw that. We've been saying this for years. They need to tell us like what's going on with this ride.
He said in the interview to open the interview saying we don't have a name for it yet. I appreciate
why did he just?
Yeah,
why did
the honesty?
So I've just seen it. Yeah, that was a train wreck of an. He had no idea what
terrible.
he was talking about.
I don't even think he knew. I think he just went over to ask that guy why is he standing so close to the fence, and he just happened to have a microphone on him at the same time. Like,
It was just like, oh
didn't-
shit.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on.
How fast is it going to go? Well, the manufacturer says it goes 85 kilometers an hour. Jesus Christ.
Well, they
Fucking hell.
don't have it finished yet, so actually test how fast it goes. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's just
Bad all round.
and the whole we're aiming for this date. However, no promises.
Sam says it best. The interview was basically it exists.
Well, at least they're acknowledging
Effectively,
it
yes,
exists
yes, it
now.
was.
Yeah, it's alive.
Yeah.
Well, it's
At
not
least they're
alive,
acknowledging it's a thing now.
but- Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Because before they were like, nope,
How
nothing's
did
happening.
though? It was like this is going to be our flagship and tallest coaster.
At 33 meters.
So I can
That
tell
was
you.
his answer. That was his answer. Like, yeah, it's
You can tell he's in management, but hasn't had PR.
you
Yeah,
don't need
really.
PR training to. We
If you're socially awkward, then you do.
Yeah, but you
I mean,
just say this is our new ride. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the colors. It's not going to stay like this. We are going to paint it. We don't have a name. We've got a name for it, but we're not going to tell you what the name is.
Yeah, he
Keep it
could have
secret.
said that rather than saying we don't have a name.
Even though everybody's calling it inversion and
Why-
the pack-
why-
No.
Apparently
Stop
No,
they
why,
this.
listed
why
a
do I
patent
feel
for it.
like
Stop
their
this inversion
marketing
bullshit.
team is just a
He's on
monkey
holiday.
with a typewriter, and they're waiting for a name
mean-
to pop up?
If it was ever gonna be a monkey with a typewriter, it's Flamingoland, right? Because it's a
Oh,
zoo.
there's a name. Oh,
It's probably a flamingo just like dipping his head, like bobbing for apples, but with names.
Like it's a salmon.
No, Sam. No, Sam. Mikhile
Oh,
looks like he's just
100%.
watched the interview.
Yep, he does.
I've watched like half of it. I can't be asked watching the rest of it.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Watch Good Morning Britain turn up tomorrow, and then it'll be like, oh, so we're not riding the coaster today, then? No. So,
No,
might
we're just
you
standing and
might be
looking
able to
at
come
it.
back next year. Yeah. I don't know. It's chaos, honestly.
I honestly have nothing to add to this conversation.
Well, you can't. You can't.
There is nothing to add.
It's dead.
That's it.
Gone.
Yep.
So we're hanging on Sean. We are, +1 for enthusiasm.
So let's
better than the ultimate VR experience.
Are you drinking
By-
the beer Moretti, by the way?
by
Mhm.
virtue of
Ass.
That looks really nice.
From
Really
the
good.
Stormtrooper glass.
Oh,
Ooh.
what?
Good combo.
The actual beer that was the Stormtrooper beer, absolute shite. Don't get it.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
It's grim.
The glass is worth it.
The glass is cool. I did pay for it.
Well, we've got a moment as well. Can we just talk a little bit about Pandemonium and its removal? What do we think is going to happen with that area? Any speculation or thoughts?
No, I didn't even know it was being removed, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
the park so for those of you that don't know, the park confirmed it is going to be removed at the end of the season. They did it via the social media today. I've posted a video on my YouTube channel. If you want to know what I think, go check that out. But guys, what do you think?
hey, remember when we said we weren't going to talk about news?
yeah.
I know, but,
And Sean just put start with Energylandia.
waiting on.
Yeah. We'll go. Yeah.
I'll say this. Like I am excited about what's going to be like added to Drayton Manor. It's clear that they have a vision and some kind of objective for that area of the park. It's clear now that they want to move into further expansion elsewhere in the park.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Adventure Cove is anything to go by, then I wouldn't say high expectations, but a high level of interest
Yeah.
into what's gonna appear there, because they've proven that with Looping Group behind them, they're on the right track for exactly what they want to do. So
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
it'll be interesting.
Shout out to the social media team as well. They're awesome. They're so much fun.
Yeah, they are.
Good shout out.
TikTok's amazing. It's so good. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that. We'll ask Sean what he thinks about that as well. Obviously, with it being his Back garden.
Well,
Right. Oh,
effectively, yeah.
right.
he's here. Are you coming in?
Hello.
Ta-da!
Hello.
Hiya.
I think
He's
we'll
back.
see. We'll see.
You all right?
Yeah. I think I just had to do an update, and it seems to be okay. now, so we'll see what
Bloody
goes.
updates.
I know, man. I know.
Bane
All
of
right.
my life.
So, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. We all have had multiple lives lived in the past 2 weeks.
Oh,
Mate, I feel like 20 years older.
Yeah.
We've all got some shit that we all can't wait to talk to you about.
Yeah.
So, who let's just get straight into it. Who wants to go first? I kind of want someone else other than myself to go first.
Okay.
We could do Thorpe.
Shall we start with Thorpe?
Should we
Oh,
start
yeah.
with Thorpe?
Yeah.
Get that out of the way. Get the
Look,
rants
Luke is
out of
here,
the
and I
way.
don't want to hurt his feelings, man.
Hurt my feelings?
Luca.
Oh, Luca.
No, he's a G. He understands.
He
So yeah,
gets it.
like I mean, you went to Fright Nights before I did, didn't you?
I did. I went last week on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was an
Was
experience.
it school holidays? Was it school holidays?
No.
No, it was this
so-
week with school holidays.
Yeah, I got lucky in terms of the fact that it wasn't school holidays. Queues weren't crazy, like probably about an hour and a half for the longest, I think, throughout the day.
Not bad.
But
It's about normal.
like Thorpe's organisation has just gone even further downhill. Saw the fast track queue was constantly out of the queue. It was halfway across the building.
What?
So they're like what the like the fast track queue is now what was the disabled. So it goes round a little cattle pen as well. So it was a long ass queue, and it was like that constantly throughout the day. And you had an experience with this, Sean, as well. The trio tickets.
Yeah, wow.
It's
When
just
I went, the trio
ridiculous.
tickets were sold out.
They were
So I
sold
had
out
to-
as well
Yeah.
for me the week
Oh, they
before.
were?
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
which was absolutely stupid.
So did you have to buy every maze individually? like
No,
did?
I got lucky. I got one of the last
Right.
few
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Because I booked it in advance a couple
Yeah.
weeks before.
Hmm.
But the way the trio tickets were working, you booked it, you chose the time slot to do your first maze, and the first maze you had to do, platform 15.
That is a joke, man. I
You
You
can't
have
believe
to do
that.
platform 15 first.
Like I
which-
said this to
Platform
you on-
15
Yeah.
is an outdoor scare maze. The other
Lol.
two are indoors. Platform is outdoor. So
But, like,
why are you
doing
making
fucking
that
jump
be the
out,
first one?
Yeah.
When most
See-
people want to do that during night time.
My first Fright Nights was last year, so I'm not. I just assumed that it was going to be like Scarefest, where you pretty much do them whatever order you want to do them in. You have a
Exactly.
single time, and you go. So most people will leave Toxic till last. It doesn't really matter this year because it is completely indoors. Like it
Yeah.
seems like it's not, but it is.
Yeah.
I realised that, and so I just assumed that, and so I kind of get the weak ways out the way first.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, it's true. I felt like platform 15. I don't
Like-
think it's bad. I think it's got a cool story. I think it's spooky, but
Yeah.
it's a scare zone. It's not amazing.
Yeah.
know
I
what I
didn't
mean?
find it to be. It is.
That's
It was a
interesting.
lot better when it was the other way round and you started at the train station, and then
Yeah.
the end was walking through that long tunnel.
Mm.
Wait, you don't start at a train station. It's called platform 15.
Yes.
Okay.
You
Stupid.
start, but it kind
Makes
of. I
sense.
don't know. Like it doesn't. It's not that bad because
Mhm.
it's like you go in through a tunnel and like the old train tracks are like going
Yeah.
into it, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
does feel pretty cool. Like it doesn't feel out of place and.
Awesome.
But I'm guessing the reason they changed that round was because of like Creek Freak, Unchained and stuff. Didn't want that whole
Yeah, I'm
place
assuming
getting
so, yeah.
congested, and plus you got Creek Freak Massacre. Then I mean, if it was there now, them queues would like meet in the middle.
Yeah,
so
they
it'd be all sorts of mess.
Right.
But yeah, carry on, mate. You go.
So yeah, have to do that one first. You have to book your time slot. So I booked mine for 6:30 because I was
Yeah.
like, it's gonna be dark then.
Yeah.
And I get that's why they probably made that one be your first one, so that they can control and get most of the people out of the way earlier in the day, so not everyone's waiting for nighttime. And then the fact that you have 2 hours after that to do the other 2 mazes. I can guarantee you the queue for trailers when we were there was more than an hour and a half. We had ride access pass, so we was able to skip the queue, thankfully. But 2 hours, I get they will let you go in if it's gone over 2 hours because of the queue times, but it's such a stupid system, the fact that you have to do that one first, and if you're like me, you want to do that one later, and then you don't have enough time to do the other 2 mazes.
It's Thorpe are asking for trouble with that kind of thing in place, because like I put on when I went yesterday, because I went to Fright Nights yesterday, I was like, it was a really busy day. It was like a sellout day. Whenever seen the parking so packed, like into the overflows around the side, around the back, it was mad.
Wow.
Queue times for rides were mad, but it's to me, honestly, it was to be expected. It's half term, whatever. That I wasn't really going in with the mind of like getting on loads of rides. I was there just to experience Fright Night. And we did them well early, so because the trio tickets sold out, we had to book them individually, which is obviously more expensive. But the way I see it was like, it was almost like paying £10 extra for like fast pass, because we didn't wait over half an hour for maze.
Yeah.
So trailers, we did like 3:30. That was like waited 10 minutes, if that. And then Creek Freak, we waited 20 minutes. And platform, we walked straight on. But that, because of that, it meant I could basically, I booked them like an hour in between of each other, so like spaced them out. You didn't feel like you was having to rush and stuff, so that was all right. But then when it hit, like when we come out of platform, because we did it last, that's when it started getting dark. Man, like Creek Freak Q was like out of the entire area. Like it was literally going.
We saw
the
that
whole area, man. And
it was trailers we saw. Like even with us, by the time we got out, it was about halfway down to Burger King.
It's just mad. I just think it's. But I mean, like I know people have been reporting Towers having that issue too. We're going on Sunday, so I'll know better then, like how they're managing their queues.
Same.
I feel overall though, like Towers have, even though like it's weird, man, because Fright Nights has been going longer, but Towers seem to like just know how to crowd manage better. And I just you never really see the queues at Towers, the Scare Maze. It's just like meandering into paths and like getting in the way of people. It's like they kind of know how to set it
they have
all
an
out.
area for it.
Is that because Towers have more space to work?
I mean,
they have more space.
But like
Whereas
Toxic
Thorpe are
Junkyard,
really
for
cramped,
example,
so-
is next to the main path, and they've put a queue in place that runs down the side of the path, so people don't start just running
like
off.
a temporary queue.
But and it was like they've got that next to trailers. They've got that whole area that they used last year, routes which is like a scrap, just used as like a yard at the minute. But they could have used that to stop it from going all the way.
Yeah, because like they used that as part of Scare Mazes previously, so they could have extended the queue line into that area.
Yeah, and but the problem with that, even last year, routes last year, is like they used that area, but it was a complete cattle pen, and there was so much trouble going on in there, and it was just like they need to space out the queue so it's not a cattle pen, because Thorpe know that they're gonna get trouble. Like it's just a given at this point. Like they're gonna get some trouble. We saw a fight. We saw a fight getting broken up by security guards and stuff. So it's just a given, and you know it's one of them. But I mean, from my experience yesterday, like it was a good day. It was a decent day because we wasn't doing like the rides, and we didn't have to experience like them horrible queues for mazes. Like we got them out of the way, and then it was done by like 6.
Yeah.
So then we just walked around the areas, checked out all like Legacy and Birthday Bash and Amity.
I will say the crows.
Oh, they're so good.
I really like the crows.
So good. Their
And then
area this year.
I constantly saw them around the park as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was, you just bump into
Is
them
there,
and you're like,
is
oh,
there
hello.
more of them? Is there more of
Yeah.
them this year?
Yeah, so they've got like 5 of them at the actual scare zone, and then like another
right.
5 roaming the park.
Jesus, that's quite a lot for considering it was just like a
First.
roaming thing last year. Like just kind of born out of that. That's really cool.
The what is it? Is it Meakin Meadow? Morkin Meadow?
Marking Meadow.
Meadow.
Marking
Meadow.
Meadow, I think.
And the audio they have there as well is really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
They've got an
they've
actual
nailed that.
storyline to it.
That
It's really...
scare zone is probably my favorite thing about Fright Nights this year. So like we did trailers first. It was a really cool maze to look at. But it blows my mind that like they just don't like. You look at like Scarefest, right? They know how to do rat runs. They know how to set up the actors so they can get around to the back. And like it doesn't matter if you're at the back. If you're at Scarefest, it does not matter if you're at the back. Like you'll get scared still.
Yeah.
Whereas in trailers, which is really weird because Creek Freak isn't like this, but trailers is, where every room there's like one set piece, and the scare is based around that one set piece.
Yep.
So unless you're the first 4, and it's not like a big rooms either. It's just like loads of like little corridors, really small rooms. So you'll hear the scream in the next room, and then you walk into the room, and then there's nothing going on. There's like an empty dentist chair.
Yeah.
I walked into the bedroom scene. There's a hole in the middle of the bed and no one's in it.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, great, like that's brilliant. You know what I mean? And it's like everyone pays the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Everyone should get the same. You know, if you can't keep repeating that same, and plus it's like batches of 15 people is so mad. And this was on like a 10-minute queue, and I was like,
big group.
I'm like, what is the point in that? Like, it's so stupid.
We had similar experience. We were middle of the group, wasn't getting any of the scares at all. It was always
really in the middle.
They weren't even doing the back of the group.
What?
They like before they could scare the front of the group, run through a run, and end up being behind and do a scare at the back as well.
And like
they weren't
following you into the next room, sort of thing.
They weren't doing
leading you off. But
the room's really cramped, and like even with the batching, I think we got batched in a group of 10. We ended up catching up with the group in front of us. We went through the last section as a group of like 20-30 people.
Jesus.
Because like for some reason they weren't getting the people through the maze, and they were batching too quickly.
It's just
not enough smell pods.
What?
Not enough smell pods.
I think it's got a lot of potential. Someone sent me the Halloween Horror Nights version of the maze that they did years ago, which is literally like the exact same maze. Like,
is it?
Yeah, it's mad. But I feel like it's the first year. Like they're gonna have time to like build on it and make it better, and hopefully they'll just learn. Like if you're gonna have that capacity, like that type of scare maze is perfect if you're a small standalone event. Do you know what I mean? But if you know that you're gonna have to be putting batches of 15 through, don't center it around like one. It's basically just like having one it's just equivalent to having one animatronic in each room, and then it just setting off and then not waking up for the next lot of people. You know. Yeah. So it's a bit of a shame, but the plus side is I thought it looked really nice. Everything looked really cool. It was good that it was all like harping back to like the past Fright Night stuff.
Yeah.
The finale was really, really cool. I really liked the finale. That was like the only jump scare I got, but it was like a big jump scare.
Cool.
So that was really, really cool.
At least you got some.
But saying that, like compared to like Roots of Evil, Jesus Christ, this is like another level. Like, I think it's unfair because I compare them to like other scare events and like Scarefest ones, and I feel like the Scarefest ones always just seem like way more budget has been spent on them, and I don't know, they're just, especially like Mine Tours, it's like been going so long now. It's like a well-ordered machine. Like they
love that
thing.
Even me, like I
so good.
was comparing Fright Nights back to when Lionsgate had the partnership, in my opinion, that was when the mazes were at their best because they had the money to put into them, and like the scares that they actually delivered were a lot better. But I feel like it might be down to the fact that this is the first year I've gone to Fright Nights and it's been no contact in the mazes.
Yeah.
I was laughing. I didn't get scares at
Mm.
all. I didn't get jump scared by anything because I expected that I knew how Thorpe works. When it was contact,
Yeah.
stuff took me by surprise.
Yeah,
And I feel like that's kind of ruined it, the fact that they aren't doing contact this year.
But I'll get onto another one we did Dr. Fright Nights lately, and that's the most scared I've ever been. Even like more than like subspecies when they like dragged you off and stuff. Like, if the scares are set up right and very clever, where they're like they build anticipation and then something happens and it's like completely something you wasn't expecting. Like there's so many ways of doing it that sometimes just sticking an actor in a room and just going bleh, like it's that shit don't scare me, man. Like, I need it to have a bit more atmosphere, but yeah, like
distraction scares and stuff.
yeah. Creek
Yeah, that
was
was
good. Oh, sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, there wasn't really much in distractions scares.
Yeah.
They did do quite a lot of disorientating stuff. I must say, like towards the end of platform, the strobe there, I genuinely felt like I was drunk. I couldn't see where I was walking. I was like, because it's such an intense strobe right in your eyes.
Was you actually drunk though?
No. No,
Okay.
because I was driving.
Oh yeah, he was driving. He just first drive to Thorpe, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the car
Newsflash, I
park.
passed my test, motherfucker.
Get in
know
that car
Sean
park,
had an
bitch, for
experience
90
of
minutes.
this. The car park is probably the scariest thing for.
Yeah, I've heard some horror
ridiculous.
stories. In fairness,
Yeah.
So
Mate,
like,
it's just listening to a car park
barrier.
full of horns. For like
luckily there weren't
fucking-
many horns, but like, so my friend's pass didn't scan at the
Take that.
barrier. It never has.
I had that problem as
I
well
then
when I
just
walked down.
went, screw it, I'll pay for parking. I don't give a fuck. I just want to get out. Didn't accept my card. And the help
What?
button is a tiny little thing in the corner, hidden. When I pressed that, yeah, they then eventually opened barriers. I was there for like a good 2-3 minutes trying to get the
So
fucking
it was
barriers
your
open.
fault the car park was rammed then? Was
No,
it?
because every single person
So everyone
had
was
the exact
doing
same
that.
issue.
Wow, shit.
They used to have people stood at the barriers, and if there was an
Well,
issue, they'd come over.
that's what they do at towers. Stand on the
Yeah.
barrier with a
Yeah.
card machine. I haven't
Yeah.
got my ticket. I've lost it. Oh well, pay for
Yeah.
another one. There you go. That's what you got to do.
No, they're
But I guess-
expecting these machines to work. They
I
didn't
I
take my
think they
payment.
have. My guess is they get so much trouble with people like giving them
Yeah.
like getting irate and stuff and telling them to like do one that they've just gone whatever. We're just gonna leave you to it, and then you just go out and it's just insane. It's an insane. I've never known a car park like that. Like it's just so bad. And I had it last year as well at Fright Nights, and it's just they need to do something to it, man. Like all this money they're making from the mazes, spend it on a better car park system.
Yeah.
Jesus. But yeah, we need to fly through the rest now because this is like
Oh yeah, it's already half an hour.
Wow.
Creek
really?
Freaks.
Fort Brant.
It's gone
Thorpe
fast.
France.
Creek Freaks was good. Creek Freak
Yeah.
Massacre was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent.
The scare zone around was very funny.
The Scare Zone Unchained is
Playing
very
Scrabble
good.
with an old woman.
What the
Witness-
fuck?
They had an old woman in a rocking chair with a Scrabble board.
The
Brilliant.
funniest
And
thing about
karaoke.
night was seeing.
God.
Yeah, Joe did a bit of karaoke.
Did you
The
vlog
funniest
that?
thing I saw all night. Yeah, I did vlog it. But,
Nice.
the funniest thing I saw all night was this like chavvy guy go into like one of the actors like, I want to play Scrabble Blood. And he's like, no, you don't want to play Scrabble with Blood. And he's like, no, but I want to play
Did he
Scrabble Blood.
say?
And then, like, he was getting well angry about it, that they didn't want to play Scrabble with him. And then like one of the guys is just like, just move on. It was just so funny.
That's a pretty good impression. Felt like it was in mine, Tarzan.
Yeah.
But no,
I
it's
thought you were going to
it's
say I
good.
feel like I was in Manchester.
But
I want to play Scrabble Blood.
But again, I didn't really get many scares in it. Like there had 2 chainsaws in it, and I thought I was promised like more than like I thought it was going to be a massacre. Like you know what I mean? I thought it was going to be loads of chainsaws. But
Pun intended, right?
Yeah, legit. That was a good.
Awesome.
but again, like there was just like we were just not getting any. We was right at the back, not getting any scares.
Yep.
Like they've clearly got like rat runs and things to come through and hang out of, and they're just not being used. And the overall experience for me was that me just look in these mazes and like platform 15 and just seeing like a curtain going, someone should be coming out of that every time.
Yep.
Just looking at curtains going, someone should be coming out of that. So yeah, that was my experience. I think at the end of the day, like yeah, it was Tuesday, but it's also half term. It was sold out. Like there should be a lot of actors in there, and if they're just saving everyone for the evening, for me,
Should be like a
that's not
Saturday,
really...
shouldn't it? Really,
It should be every
like...
single day. It should
Yeah.
be like a Saturday
Yeah.
every single day. They're sold
I
out.
agree.
You know, I want the places filled with actors, man. Like that's what you pay for. Like
It's half
they're not
term. It's
cheap.
what these Halloween events
Yeah.
should be gearing up for. It should be full steam ahead throughout the entire holiday, you would think.
Yeah. It's just that was just annoying for me. But at the same time, like I do appreciate like they've upped the game just by having. I know Creek Freak's in its second year technically because it didn't run last year, but yeah, Trailer's in its first year, so there'll be some improvements on that. But generally, like around the park, like Legacy, I saw Legacy. That was really cool. Shame that it's like the position of it. It's just out of the way of everything. Like you have to go
the
out of
actual
way
sight
to watch
lines to watch it as well, because like if you want to be face onto it, there's a massive wall of rocks because it's based on the beach, and you know the wall that they have against.
Yeah.
You can go onto the beach though.
Oh, you actually can. Okay.
Yeah, that's why
I didn't
we
see
went
could.
there.
Oh, you
But it
could.
was just a shame that there was like not many people watching it because like everyone's over by the other side. You know, everyone's around where Birthday Bash is going on. So
Birthday
like
Bash
that,
was funny.
yeah, that was. I liked Birthday Bash.
It was entertaining. That was good.
Yeah, it was good. I preferred the show of Birthday Bash that they do. Had more of a story, but the scare zone. Well, it's not really a scare zone. It was just like Festival felt like a scare zone. Last year, it was like way more interactive and stuff. It was good. Whereas Birthday Bash was just like it was basically like Simbin at Alton Towers, but like way more adult orientated. Where they're like killing pinatas on the stage. So
we
Yes,
I just want to address this question from KA Coasters. If you allocate times for scare mazes, how can the queues be so big? I never bothered with them, so I have no idea of their operations. Sorry for the silly question. It's not a silly question, it's a good question.
No, it's not.
So
just
main
overselling
issue
them,
that
aren't they?
arises is the fact that Thorpe, they never know how to control their ticket volume ever. So they will oversell time slots, same as they oversell fast track and
Yeah,
stuff.
I've experienced that myself in the past.
And
Fast
if
track.
they have an issue in a maze, they have to hold batching. That builds up the queues as well. And yeah, with like overselling fast track and overselling time slots, because fast track was available for the mazes, it was like 50 quid. Fucking ridiculous, yes.
Wow.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Each 50 quid each.
I don't know. I just heard someone say we paid 50 quid for this, so I don't.
Jesus.
Fuck is that? Jesus.
So yeah, just all of that, and then like if they've got someone that doesn't know what they're doing on the door batching, it ends up slowing it down ridiculously. And the fact that they're scanning tickets, because they're having to scan your ticket if people have their brightness too low, if they've got dark mode on, doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's
It's a weird one, isn't it?
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, no, it is. I think that's the thing. It's just like the capacity is just not there for what they're selling, really. But my advice is, if you're worried about for next year anyway, unless they sort it out, but I would just say pay £10 more and just buy the mazes individually and book them for the times you want to do. Because you could be like, okay, we're going to do platform 15 like 2 hours after we do the rest if we want to.
So that can actually be in that time. Although platform 15 won't be there next year.
Oh yeah, it won't be. But
It was
hopefully,
its last year.
hopefully they'll realise, like Towers realised that they were having so many people queuing for it after dark, so they put it underneath a roof. People still think it's outside, but so people are still doing the same mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need to like obviously if your event can't take it, we can't do outdoor mazes. That's going to have to be the thing in it really, because it's just a bit ridiculous. And the thing is, I've always said this, right? Mazes are so much better in the day because your eyes are not used to the dark. So you go into a maze and it feels dark. It looks darker. You think you're like, oh my God, it's completely dark. If you go in at night, you can see more and it's not as good. So
yeah, I felt that with when we did we'll touch on it later, but when we did the attic and Dark Steps and Mine Tours with Attraction Source, when we went in during the day, it was so much darker inside.
So much more.
Just pitch like an idea. I probably won't get a lot of people agreeing with this or pointing out why it might be. It might result in like Scarefest and Fright Nights resulting in being a lesser event, so to speak. But and not to say that the parks work with non-theme park centric Halloween events, because I don't know the ins and outs of those, but like what if like the likes of Towers, Thorpe, the other parks that run high profile Halloween events, like ran them centered more so around scare zones rather than scare mazes, because the non-theme park the non-theme park Halloween events, they seem to have it much more down pat in terms of operations of scare mazes, like haunted houses and all of those. And like I can't help but think that must be because they don't also have to take into account people going there for for things other than, you know, to go through the scare zones. Like people aren't going there to also ride rides, and people aren't going there for other things as well.
So the thing is that
let me just finish my point. But so like if that in some way, shape, or form results in, you know, more fluid and more efficient operations of their scare mazes and stuff, you go back to the Towers and the Thorpes of the world. If would those events run better if they were more centered around more elaborate scare zones where they essentially just dress up the areas of the park, you know, in their allocated scare zones, and all of the budget goes into creating really elaborate set designs of those areas, and, you know, have your actors in there, have your roaming actors, and then all of the operation can be focused on those, and then as well as the rides, as well as normal theme park operations. Maybe just the reception of these events, and also the management of capacity within the parks at this time of the year. Maybe there would be less headache of them.
Nah, I don't think so, because at the end of the day, like if you put in like at Towers, you're putting in 4 scare mazes. That's 4 new attractions for people to go. That instantly ups your capacity and takes the pressure off all their rides. Like if you could imagine Thorpe with the same capacity but without them 3 mazes, like the queues were already like at like over 2 hours. Like, could you imagine? Like it would just be unbearable. And the problem is I know with I can't say too much actually. I can't. I was just about to say something.
And here's Sean digging his hole.
But I think there's a reason Towers don't do scare zones anymore. I'll say it. I'll put it as that. There is a reason. They don't do scare zones, and it's when you're told it, you're like, that makes complete sense. So it's annoying because I can't say exactly why they can't do it. I don't know.
We were told something similar during the talk we had with them, that we weren't allowed to film. So, Yeah.
So
get it.
that was told to me like by someone who pretty well up in the Scarefest stuff. But I just don't know, man. Like for me, like Scarefest.
I just posed the question
is-
because, like, I feel like you guys are much more well versed on, you know,
Yeah.
Halloween attractions as a whole than I am.
I
yeah.
don't think it's just if you can't manage the scare mazes, that's not because because you're putting scare mazes, because you're just not managing them well. It's the same as a ride, like, do you know what I mean? It's the same as a coaster. Like if you set up if you have a world, you know, one of the world's best coasters in the world, and it's shit throughput. That's not the ride's fault, is it? That's just like you're just not managing that ride very well.
Yeah.
And surely with like Thorpe and Towers and all the other theme parks, there should be no less staff making sure that the operations of the rides are running smoothly. Surely there's a separate team for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I think, like, to me, it makes sense in this country anyway to have a focus on the scare mazes, because, like I say, it's another few attractions that are not normally there. They can upcharge it as well, and people will pay it. And I don't know. Like
that's why they do it, isn't it? That's why we do pay for it, because it's something that we're not able to do throughout the year. It's like why Joe does the dungeons. You know, it's another attraction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's just there.
But
yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
That comment there, the management says it's down to general public for bad throughput. No, like it's down to the park, because we actually did Black Mirror.
Yeah.
We got the first time slot that was available for that day.
You did it this time you went?
Yeah.
Was it any better?
Turned up there. Oh, we're not open yet. We're hoping to open today. Come back later. We'll honour your 11:30 time slot. Go back there. There's one guy at the main entrance scanning the tickets. He tells us to go up through the disabled track. And then he said, yeah, sorry about, like, you'll have to just wait at the end there, because all these people just barged through, moved the barrier out of the way and just went in and queued. Because they only had one member of staff to run that queue. They need two at least. They were understaffed. They didn't have to, like, Thorpe didn't have the staff this year. And it was very Darren Brown
terrible.
was closed.
What?
Yeah, didn't have the staff, because
It
they
wasn't
probably
when I
moved the
was there.
staff off of Darren Brown onto the scare mazes and stuff.
Jeez.
It's bad management.
That is really bad.
them time tickets for Darren Brown, they don't seem to work, because there's just so many people waiting outside them gates of Darren Brown.
Yeah,
constantly.
just
There's
all
a massive
sat
crowd.
on them benches, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's just sat there, like they're having a picnic or something, waiting. And they're like, "Oh, we're just waiting to go in." All right,
Just kills the point.
It's a weird one, but yeah. Anyway, just to wrap it up, in case, like, Amity High, Thorpe, really good. Preferred it when they had the separate areas last year. Putting them next to each other, I think the show suffered somewhat, like, because last year they had their own sort of music that like, you know, like, and Thorpe was like more like hip hoppy and stuff, and kind of breakbeat and stuff, and then Amity was kind of like 80s pops and a bit of rocky and things like that, and they kind of just merged the whole show into one. And I think the whole like,
point of that was like it's either one or the other. So you have one side, of the
yeah,
park
it's
or
like
the other side of
versus,
park. Yeah.
and then when one group last year, when one group did a show, like the other group
Went
would, like,
over,
come
right?
over and then
Yeah.
invade it at the end, and then it would be like really, it had this like competition sort of thing between them, and it really heightened it. And I feel like
Like a
this year-
territory, like they all
Yeah,
both
yeah.
had their own territory.
Yeah.
So I did prefer them being in separate areas.
Oh, that's a
and
shame. I was looking
yeah, so
forward to that.
they replaced where Like and Thought was with a pop-up bar from what was there from Oktoberfest, which is just dead, like, all the time. Like, it's a dead area. So. But yeah, but it wasn't a bad event, don't get me wrong, but still think Scarefest is better. Sorry, still think it is. I think the quality of mazes overall, you got four
Scarefest this year.
You got
Next
four
year, bro.
massively strong mazes that
Absolutely.
can compete with the independent scare mazes, scare events
Really?
I've done this year. Like, theming wise, and like definitely theming wise, and just the overall experience. If they feel, for me, the ones at Towers, they just feel like permanent attractions. Like They don't feel like you're just like
Yeah.
in like fake walls and stuff. And
That's
which
what
is,
I got from
you
it.
know, it just
Definitely.
feels proper, like authentic when you're in there. And
Even with
though I've-
Junkyard.
Yeah.
even though I've had better scares at like the independent scare events, like the it's just just the actual like atmosphere of the place is like, I just think the storytelling's done so well and that and
definitely.
yeah. But I know people like scare zones, but honestly, like scare zones, whatever, man. Like, like I experienced all this scare, like all this, like the scare actors and stuff at Thorpe, and it didn't necessarily make it a better event. Like,
I mean, the thing like with like scare zones, obviously, is, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? Obviously, scare mazes cost. Scare zones are free. You can walk through scare zones without paying.
Yeah.
Scare
true.
mazes, you got to pay. That's probably the main reason why people do like them. But there are times and places for those, and I don't feel like I don't know. For instance, Alton Towers really is the right place for those sort of things. I feel what they have works a lot better. So
definitely, I see.
Sorry,
Yeah,
the
The
sorry,
crows
I was
are
gonna
amazing.
say the crows are
crows look
amazing.
insane.
We did say that earlier, but
He did say
you
that.
know, I'm on about an overall event for me.
Yeah.
But I'm also biased because I grew up with Scarefest. I didn't grow up with Fright Nights, so I've not got that kind of loyalty to it, and I just like the feeling of it. So,
Right,
Yeah.
should we talk about Mikhile's trip to
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Energylandia?
Absolutely.
Let's hear it, bro.
All right.
Lay it down.
All right.
Where is
No,
Zadra sat, bro?
I know you guys have been on the edge of your seats waiting to.
Oh, we are. We are. We are.
No. Yeah. It like. Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, I went to Poland last weekend. From Wednesday to, well, I flew out on Wednesday and came back on Monday. And if any of you are wondering why I'm using these shitty headphones, because me, like the dickhead I am, your boy left his 300+ pound Bose headphones on the fucking coach back home on Monday night, didn't I? So yeah, had to run out and buy these shitty £8 Sony temporary earphones this afternoon. And me hearing my own voice talking, it sounds like I'm underwater. But anyway, yeah, Poland, Energylandia, Legendia, a bit of Legendia, an evening of Legendia.
On one ride.
On one ride. No, literally, and I'll get to that.
You got to get to that.
I'll get to that. It was one ride. I rode one. I rode one roller coaster at that park. But yeah, Energylandia. My expectations going in, obviously, both Hyperion and Zadra are two coasters that have been on my bucket list for a hell of a long time, and I'll just jump out the gate and say it. I did not expect Energylandia to be anywhere like half like the pleasant, charming, well-run, enthusiastic park that it is. I wasn't expecting it at all. I was expecting 2 world-class coasters, a few fun ones in Abyssus, Formula, whatever else, and then a bunch of just random kiddie rides and kiddie coasters and family coasters. But the park is so, for what it is, the park is so well run. Like, you've got a bunch of like otherwise temporary looking kiddie coasters and family coasters in there and stuff, but the way they're presented, the foliage, the landscaping around the place, they look permanent. Like they look permanent. We're talking about other coasters that you've seen at like maybe like maybe not fun fairs, but just like smaller parks, and they look temporary at smaller parks. They done an incredible job in presenting these attractions as pleasantly as they possibly could. All the staff are enthusiastic. Everyone's really friendly over there. I had a great time. I had a great time. I met up with some guys from like the kind of drunk riders and buzzed bars wider conglomerate. If
Nice.
you're about on Twitter, you will have heard of James Larson. Got to meet him. He's an awesome guy. And then a few of the others, Sloan, just a man's man. Sloan is a man's man, and he's super sound person, down to earth. And if anyone knows of Jack Lathrop of the Twisted Travelers, I actually did an episode on their podcast a little.
That was good.
Earlier on. I got to meet up with his dad.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to meet Jack's dad before I meet him in person. That's funny. And then Sloane's fiance Sarah as well. She's lovely. She's an awesome person. All these guys. It was such a great group. Such a like bunch
Sounds
of like
awesome,
really
man.
grounded people, just normal people, just love coasters. So that was awesome. Yeah. But
have you seen Lucas' comment? Okay.
Did you meet Stefan at Circus Coaster? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Stefan's amazing. And so me and Ben were sat at the front of Circus Coaster, and we're just there, started doing the, can I get a, oh yeah? And he started joining in. That was awesome. Yeah, Stefan's great. Love Stefan. But yeah, I'll talk about Hyperion first. We'll save the best for last. Talk about Hyperion first. I expected Hyperion to be awesome. I kind of couldn't control the fact that my attention was dragging me elsewhere. but
Sure.
I expected Hyperion to be awesome, but dude, what a coaster Hyperion is. It's my favorite hyper coaster that I've done. It's better than any B&M hyper I've done.
Wow.
Sorry,
Holy
Shambhala. Shambhala's awesome, but Hyperion is a step above for sure. It's intense.
Wow.
It's fast. The drop isn't quite vertical, but it fucking feels vertical. You're literally just looking down at the ground as you go down it.
Yeah.
It feels like such a well-engineered coaster. Like the airtime feels exactly how it should feel. It feels purposeful. It feels pure. It feels strong. Whether it's ejector or floater in places, it just feels everything about Hyperion does what it's supposed to do, and yeah, it's whippy in moments. It has a sense of speed. It offers a great night ride.
Nice.
Outside of the car park lights, you can't see shit when you're in that layout. You can't see shit at all.
Nice.
It's such a good ride. It's sitting pretty in my top 10 for sure.
Nice.
Something weird about the loading process on Hyperion and Zadra as well, which I'll get to. So like it basically splits the lineup into like 4 other lines. So there's obviously your front row queue line. There's your separate front row queue line, and then the other 3 lines. At the end of the queue line, like the second one funnels through. I can't remember the exact amount of people that each line funnels through, but they funnel through a set amount of people to basically go to a section of the train. So it's not like you get into the platform and then you've just got the air gates and then you can go to each air gate. Like the second line will take you to like maybe the second, third, and fourth rows of the train. the third line will take you to maybe like the 5th and 6th, and then the 4th line will take you to the 7th, or something like that. The 7 rows. Maybe it's the second line takes you to the 2nd and 3rd. Third line takes you to 4th and 5th, and the 4th line takes you to the 6th and 7th. I think that's what it is. I like it's yeah, quick math.
I'm trying to visualize it in my head, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard to explain, but
definitely don't put that on Ride Sims. Like, I'm just putting that out there. If they do, Zadra or Hyperion, do not do that. I don't want that. There's already enough buttons to click.
It's a weird system. I've not seen it done on other coasters before, but it kind of works because you don't have shuffling around, and the way that the queue lines are separated, like, you know, if you're in one portion of the queue line, you're going to a certain point in a certain part of the train.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of works in sort of more efficiently getting guests onto the train. And before you get to the air gates, like, you're met by sliding doors, like on the other side of a wall from the platform. So you don't see the platform until these doors open, and then you go to your air gates.
Wow.
It's a bit it's weird, but this is like a vlog. This is like a vlog on Audible.
Yeah. I feel that.
I kind of take that as I'm explaining it as well as I can be, then, which I'm happy about. So
You're doing well.
but yeah, like the queue line is really cool. It's a bit weird because, like, you go up inclined ramps all the way up to the top of the building, only to come out of the building, and then you go downstairs all the way back to the bottom floor.
Wait, so they got ramps and then stairs? What?
Yeah, basically.
This is a fun house.
it might as well be.
Yeah.
But,
Noah's Ark.
Then you get on the slide.
How cool would that be if you went down a slide to the
Yeah,
bottom?
that'd be
But
Alton Towers do it.
it's a nice themed queue line. And yeah, like Lucas says, the reveal to the station is pretty cool. Apparently, once upon a time, they had like a countdown going on. You know, as you get loaded onto the train, you get fasten your seatbelt, pull the restraint down and everything. As you're getting ready to dispatch, apparently once upon a time there was a countdown going down from 10 like to 0 before you took off, and there was like fog that came up into the station, but that wasn't the case when we were there. But I mean, what I did see of it, I enjoyed it. It didn't feel like anything was missing from the experience that I got. But yeah, Hyperion, incredible coaster, front row ride, like all the way. Like every row is awesome, but get yourself a front row on that ride. It's
Sure.
cool.
incredible. Yeah,
I'm trying, Mikhile. I'm trying my hardest to do that.
I know you are. You need to try harder. I'm joking.
Next year.
Next year,
100%.
We'll get you up
to go this December, but I'm not clear because the winter event they put on, like, obviously Zadra is like on the cover of it, but
yeah,
it doesn't really give you any details on like
like they're advertising Zadra, and like the picture they've put on the advertisements and stuff, like the snow on the track. So like they're insinuating that Zadra's going to be open, but they've not. They've not given any clarity as to what will be open.
I know Zadra is definitely open because it does say it is, but it doesn't tell you anything else. So I need to make sure that it is at least I want to go there and come back with a load of creds. Basically, I don't want to just go there and, like,
you want to do the cred run and get all of them.
The reason I didn't go to Sweden.
You can't miss out on Helix, can you?
Yeah, you cannot.
No,
you cannot.
Yeah, but I can to be honest, I can understand you saying, like, obviously it's saying about Shambhala. it being better than Shambhala and that. Because like even like Goliath at Wallaby is like so flipping good. Like I'm not surprised, and that's a pretty old coaster now. And so I can just imagine this being like next level. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. It does a lot as well. It looks like it does a lot. Like you say, it's got a lot of good loose whippy transitions. It's got some good airtime moments. It's got some nice floater up moments as well. It's fucking tall.
It's fucking tall as shit. My God, it's tall as fuck.
But it's like, and it's it just looks a beast. I am excited for that. You definitely sold me on Hyperion, definitely.
And that turnaround looks mega like photogenic as well.
Yeah,
That's
the turnaround.
Nice touch.
Oh my God,
the whole ride.
Like, first of all, it's super photogenic because so the guys I met up with didn't get there on the first park day until like nearly 12. And I was already there because I flew in the night before. So I turned up like 2 hours before they got there and just photographed the shit out of Hyperion. So it is extremely photogenic. But oh my God, that turnaround!
Instagram bomb on the way, is it?
Oh yeah, it's on, like, it's Instagram, Twitter, like maybe posting them everywhere. But
good.
Yeah, that turnaround. So, but before that turnaround, I always heard people say that they prefer dive loops to Immelmann's, and I was never like I was kind of, my position on it was like, yeah, I kind of see why you would say that, but I'm not entirely sure if I agree to that myself because I like both. That dive turnaround sold me on dive loops. Like that is how a dive loop should be executed. You get airtime at the top, you just get flung one way. And then all of a sudden, you're just getting dragged downwards. Like that is how a dive loop should ride every time.
Nice. I'm getting more confident with this ride now.
Sick.
Awesome.
You're gonna love that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. So Abyssus. Abyssus is fun. It is a lot of fun. I like it. It's not on the same level as Hyperion and Zadra. For people who
really,
I feel like I need to say, because there are a lot of people who had high expectations for Abyssus. If you're going in anytime soon, or even if you go in next year, whenever you go in, do not expect this to be as good as Hyperion or Zadra. It's not as good, and in my opinion, it wasn't meant to be. I think
I don't see why people would even think that maybe.
Well, see, like I'll be completely honest. All of the time I spent looking at the new Vekomas, the MK1101s, the new sit downs, I was thinking it's gonna be like how the Mack multi-launch has followed the Intamin Blitzes. I thought that these were going to be the next one to follow on that level of the ride experience that the Mack multi-launches, the Intamin multi-launches were going to give. That's not really like, now that having ridden them and looked even more so into the nature of these new Vekomas, it's not really the case. And in the case of in the case of Abyssus, it kind of works as like a step up towards the more elite coasters. It's more of
that's what I thought it was going to be like.
Yeah, because you got to think there's a ton of family coasters and kiddie coasters over there. You can't just go from those to Hyperion. I
think that's why they're building that new mine train now as well, because they've realized that there is a gap between that and Abyssus still.
Yeah. So
they're putting another thing in there to really breach that gap.
I feel like that's what Vekoma's been trying to aim for a long while.
Sure.
It's this big gap in the market of like
definitely
not kiddie coasters, but not like full on thrill coasters. That's that sweet spot in between where it's like
the STCs kind of like
it's just not for me, from what I haven't ridden any of the new gen Vekomas, these new, but what I hear is really good, really nice, really smooth, but the forces are just like not in your face type of thing.
Yeah, no, they're
just
not.
like But
Just the
so
right
that's what I've always thought. Like that is what it's perfect
Yeah,
for, really.
for the most
That's
for the
good.
most part, that is true. Like they are super smooth, almost too smooth, and like
Yeah.
you can see it in the design language. I kind of not to say that this is necessarily like an absolute bad thing, but I call it new Vekoma syndrome, where like you can see it in the design language of the transitions, the characteristics of how the trains move, the
Yeah.
tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
The transitions aren't as unpredictable as on Mark coasters, as on Intamin coasters, as on RMC coasters. They're not as conducive to like positional changes and sensation changes and going from strong positives to all of a sudden in your face like laterals or anything or things like that. Let me preface what I'm saying. Lek is the outlier. Lek is the outlier, but for the most part,
it's not new.
like they are, Sean, like you said, they are. It looks like they're trying to hit that happy middle ground between, I would say, between family and thrill, really.
It's
or
and that's the
family and
thing,
extreme
and
thrill.
I feel like most, it's like an extreme family thrill. It's like a new thing in a way because it's like you
very
have
tweener.
things. Yeah. Hey,
What's up, Marcus?
how you doing, Marcus, in the chat?
Yeah.
I just want to say that
it's-
Nemesis photo was amazing, Marcus. So
Yeah,
good.
it's great.
Oh,
That one,
yeah.
the Flash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Very
Sorry.
sick.
Anyway,
Yeah, so
Very
good.
sick.
But yeah, because like this is something that parks find it really hard because if you look at Wicker Man, that's aimed at family thrill, but you see the amount of kids coming off crying off that.
Yeah.
It's not quite there. Do you know what I mean? And then the flip
Yeah.
side of that is having something like Storm Chaser, which is you can catch it now and again where it'll be so forceful on the bottom of the helix, but most of the time it's kind of still pretty gentle. So there's this like big gap where a kind of a manufacturer hasn't nailed it to be like, okay, we're going to do a bit of both. Maybe you could argue that Icon is that way as well in a way. That's kind of
it's not
similar
far
vein.
off.
Yeah.
it's not far off.
Sort of.
But would you say
Yeah, a
would you
little
say Abysses compared to Icon? Would you say they're like the same level of thrill, or would you say one's above the other?
I personally would put Icon above it.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah, like
Interesting.
when Icon is running well,
Yeah.
it's a fair way more aggressive than Abyssus is. When Abyssus is running well, because we did catch it running kind of all right, and then we come off it and like, okay, yeah, that's how it's supposed to run. But at that point where it's running where it's supposed to run, it's still like it's good, it's really good fun. It's really fun. When Icon's running well, it's like, okay, all right, it just tried to do something there. Like those night rides, we got in September. Abyssus,
Mate,
Abyssus
honestly,
close to that.
Honestly,
I was
man,
blown away by my first night ride on Icon. It really
Yeah.
was. It took me back.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this, right? I'll probably come on to this later if you have enough time. But Icon at night, blindfolded, Jesus Christ, like that is another. it's the most one of the most insane experiences I've ever had.
That is crazy to even think about that.
So mental. Like, it is so mental. Well, we'll come on to that later anyway.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
I'm only an hour in.
I'd love to do that. Yeah, we got time.
We just put a hood over our faces and we'll just do it.
Yeah, to be fair, just close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Pour a hood over your face. There you go.
It's not the same, man. It's not. Honest,
No, it's not.
I used to say that. I used to be like, "Oh, you can just close your eyes and do it." But when you've got your eyes open, and you can't see anything. It's just
mental.
So
that's fair. But no. Like, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy Abyssus, and like every day that we were there, we rode it like 2 or 3 times, we'd come off it and just be like, yeah, do you want to do that again? That was fun. Do you want to do that again? And we'd go and do it again.
Nice.
It's not
That's
it's not a bad ride. It's just I think
so. It's very re-rideable then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
That's good.
I think it's just been a bit misperceived by enthusiasts in general. But yeah, I think it has its place at Energylandia.
Do you think that the reason for that is because like they went was it the Hyperion first or Zadra first? Can't remember now.
Hyperion, Zadra.
first.
So they went Hyperion, Zadra, and then Abyssus. So they thought like, oh, like this is the trio, this is the big three sort of thing.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Perception that came across with that. Yeah. Imagine if they did the Mine Train before doing Abyssus, then that would probably have broke it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that at least plays some part into it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And also just people, because obviously when Abyssus was announced, not that many people this side of Europe, and then obviously in the US and stuff, had been on many new Vacomas. So
true.
like we see what they did. We see what they did with Lek. And then others, and it looks, well, it is better than Formula, but like it just looking at it, it looks more extreme than Formula does.
Yeah.
You kind of just try and put 2 and 2 together. It was like, oh, that's gonna be that, but it's not that. It's its own thing. But yeah, that's Abyssus. Aqualantis. Energy. Obviously, we've seen Energylandia has been going through this phase of installing themed areas.
Coaster.
Basically, sandbox. Installing themed areas. We saw it with Smoxygrod, the Dragon Zone, which accompanies Zadra, and now we will see it with Sweet Valley with the Mine Train as well. In my opinion, Aqualantis looks and feels better in person than it photographs.
That's good to hear.
Having said that though, there are parts of it that I like, and I said this on Twitter as well. Like there are parts of it I like and parts that I don't like. Like
right.
there are some parts of it that do look kind of cheap. Like you can see they cheaped out on materials, on execution of certain areas. Some areas I think look good. Some areas like closer to the station, closer to Abyssus's station. And the presentation of those, I think look decent.
Awesome.
It's not to be compared to the likes of Phantasialand or Europa Park or any Universal or Disney parks or anything like that.
I don't think that was the case anyway. From what we saw from the construction, like we were all like, oh, they're using vinyl from B&Q, like for the walls.
Yeah, like, and I mean, don't get, like some parts of it do look like that, but some parts don't. But some parts don't.
Okay. Do you think they've like lesser the budget for further away from the station? So the closer you get to the station, the more up the game kind of thing.
So what? Maybe, but also what I was going to get into as well. Also, what I think about this area, and especially, and well, like specifically comparing it to the Dragon Zone as well, because we were looking at Aqualantis to be like a step up from Dragon Zone. In my mind, they're kind of on the same level because they kind of have the same like attention to detail. Like there are parts of the Dragon Zone that you look at and it's like they probably could have done something. Like yeah, it's like they probably could have done a bit more there. Like, but the thing with Dragon Zone is that the main pathway that goes through the Dragon Zone is much narrower than the main pathway that goes through Aqualantis. So It feels like, and me and James were talking about this at length, like throughout the weekend as well. So the buildings in the Dragon Zone feel much more on top of you than they do in Aqualantis. Aqualantis, like, this is going to sound weird because they're both flat, but Aqualantis feels flatter than
Right.
than
Yeah. So like the
Dragon Zone
sight
does.
lines are all kind of like, you know, a line pretty much.
Yeah, like the pathways in Aqualantis are wider to accommodate for more people, basically. But while that is an improvement you know, footfall and guest flow wise, it kind of results in you being able to see more of the sky and more attractions outside of the area. When you're in the Dragon Zone, you can't really see anything else in the park. Like even when you're stood like as far away from Zadra as you can be, you can only really see the top of Zadra. So like for anyone that Sean, you've been to Phantasialand, you'll know about like when you stood in Klugheim, it's just solid buildings and basalt rock walls all around you, like they're all on top of you.
Yeah.
The Dragon Zone has that same effect, obviously not to the same, you know, intensiveness, but if that's a word.
Intensity.
But it's the same kind of deal. Not so much with Aqualantis. Everything feels a bit more open, and like it feels like the space has been a little less used than the Dragon Zone. It hasn't, but it feels that way because everything's a little bit further away from you. Which I think, to answer your question, Luke, kind of plays into the sort of being able to pick out some areas of Aqualantis that look better than certain other areas. If that kind of makes sense. I'm kind
it
of
makes
perfect. But
no, it makes perfect sense because it's hard to talk to someone who's not been to these places that you have.
Yeah.
But I think you've put it across pretty well, to be honest with you. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of what I imagined going into it. I did have that perception that you talked about Abyssus being another frill coaster like Zadra and Hyperion. So like we just discussed, like it's like the big three at Energylandia. So I was kind of looking at that, but then when the POV dropped for the ride, the on ride one, I was like, actually this looks a little bit more of the fun thrill, kind of. Yeah. Whereas...
And that's what it is. I will say it was running because I had a look at how it was taking like the airtime hills and the transitions. It was running a bit faster like then than it was in the POVs that I saw and just like the footage that I saw. So like
it was like, I think they still had like construction walls up and stuff when they did that POV.
It'll have still been taking its time to, you know, break in and get cycles in and stuff, but
definitely.
But no, I mean, like I don't think Aqualantis is quite the disappointment I was fearing it would be, but
good.
But yeah,
that's good.
That's
good.
Like
because we give it some shit on here. And on the Coast Gen show, we gave it some shit.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, like I'd say like Aqualantis and Smoxygrod, which I think is Polish for Dragon Zone. I'm not entirely sure. Like I'd say they're on about the same level in terms of their attention to detail and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what we want to know is, what did you think of Boomerang?
Oh, dude, bro. Well, I mean,
really,
you spoiled my whole reveal. I was about to say, fuck Zadra. That's Boomerang's best ride in the park. It's a junior Boomerang, and it's a bit of fun. It's like Light Explorer as well. Light Explorer was cool because it was basically just like you just bobbing up and down like over the waterbed. You know, it's got that boat ride that goes around it. And then like it's just Light Explorer going through its little airtime hills, like it's almost completely over the water, which is really nice.
Really
cool. It felt like if you've ever been on a speedboat or anything like that, you just bobbing up and down like on the water. It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Bridge shit.
Yeah, I wanted to do that one again. But I mean, it got to the weekend and like it was a line. It was like a 20-minute line, like constant. So like, we're like, nah, let's go somewhere else. But yeah, okay, right.
Main event it up, bro.
Right. Let's get to the elephant in the room. I think I did say it on Twitter. I think I did. Yeah, I have a new number one, boys.
Hey. That's what I want to hear.
Holy
Your boy has
shit!
a new number one.
Wow.
And like, if you
Lightning
like,
Rod, no more.
You guys know how much
Rod.
you guys know how much I
Yeah.
raved about Lightning Rod. Like,
Yeah.
like, nah, man. I'm still not over it. Zadra's insane, bro. Zadra's incredible.
It's flipping mad to me that like,
Zadra's incredible.
you know, Lightning Rod and Steel Vengeance are like, you know, they are like my number two bucket lists. Like they're just the ones I want to do.
Yeah.
And the fact that for you, who's done both, is saying Zadra is better. Like that.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's so close.
only
to
2
us.
hours
so
away.
doable.
Exactly.
So doable.
It's 2 hours away.
It's a 2-hour flight, and the flight's cheap as fuck. so like, and when you get over there, the hotel's cheap as fuck, and the Energylandia ticket's cheap as fuck. But yeah, no, like myself, Sloan, Ben, Sarah, we all had the same reaction. Like, what the fuck is this ride? Like, it should not be allowed to exist. James goes over, yeah, fucking 15
quid.
Fucking hell, man, that's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ. Put your less in your headphones.
James was telling us all weekend, like he wakes up in the morning, jumps on the computer and checks how cheap flights to Poland are.
Really?
Yeah. he does that like frequently. That's basically how this trip all came about. This wasn't my trip. Me and Sean were planning ours, but
yeah.
James, you know, messaged me and asked me if I wanted to come along with what he, Ben, and Sloan and Sarah were doing, and I wasn't going to say no, was I?
No.
Yeah, like, so James has been over there a whole heap of times. Like, like, Energylandia is one of his favorite parks. He's leading the Energylandia fanboy society. Like, that is James. Brilliant. And like, I'll just jump straight to it. Well, I'll get back to but we'll get back to the experience. But the night rides we had on this thing, it was one particular one that we had, and we hit the brakes, and I was lost for words. I was completely speechless. I can't remember who was sat next to me, but like Ben was like, oh, outstanding. Sloan was like, that was incredible. We get off the train. We walk down to the exit. I meet back up with James, and James just goes to me, that ride right there is why I keep coming back here. And that just felt like such a moment. I was like, it was like, shit, we really just experienced something world leading, like world class, world beating, world leading kind of roller coaster experience. It was like, so comparing it to Lightning Rod, I kind of came to the conclusion that it's like, so like I always talked about Lightning Rod's second half and the quad down and the speed hill and all of that, and just like the just ridiculous ferocity, like, and sense of speed and aggression through that section of the ride. Zadra is that from start to finish. Literally, as soon as
to be fair,
as soon as it even looks really on video. It looks it on video, and it is that as soon as you hit that drop, it has a better first drop than Steel Vengeance. It has more airtime. It's better profiled. as soon as you get down that drop, from there all the way to when you hit the brakes, it is just non-fucking stop, like non-stop. There's no let up whatsoever. You even like you come into the brakes, and Sloan was saying this as well. You come into the brakes a little faster. It feels like you do. It feels like you come into the brakes a little faster than Lightning Rod, and the brakes stop you faster than on Lightning Rod. Like you come into the brakes and you're getting pummeled by the restraint. It's ridiculous, but it's like, oh man, like it's incredible. It's an incredible feeling.
How does it feel going through? Sorry, how does it feel going through those like inversions with literally just like that lap bar restraint over you? Does it sort of feel? Is it quite similar to sort of Icon in the way it sort of like traverses through it? Is it the same sort of like freedom?
Yeah. Like it's not maybe not quite. Sean's looking at plane tickets.
Because I've got to be fair, like looking at them restraints.
My second screen's here, so I'm always looking at shit. I don't know.
Like looking at those restraints and obviously knowing sort of what they actually are, it does make me shit my pants and actually getting on with those things. I mean, I'd do it because I'd want to experience it, but you know, to just have a restraint like that on something that does what it does.
So like
it's intimidating.
So there's a thing about...
do Untamed first, because it's like a mini version.
You see, that was my plan. I would go do that first and then go to Zadra and do that. Just so
once you realise what the seats are like,
I still want to do Zadra, but yeah, I think easing in sort of thing.
What I will say about like the seating setup and stuff is, I get like. There is a thing about RMC seats and restraints. Not the seats. The seats are fine. The restraints, in particular, with the shin guards and how much you can get stapled on them, how much your legs get pulled back by the shin guards and stuff. Yeah. That kind of thing doesn't like that part of the restraints doesn't affect me as much. I don't really have as much of a problem with it. Like your legs do feel quite. A bit more a bit more pulled back and restricted than on like a Mach multi-launch like Icon or like an Intamin Blitz or like a new gen Intamin Blitz, something like that.
Yeah,
it's completely different because
it is quite different.
I've never like Joe when we did Untamed, we did like five back-to-back goes basically.
Yeah,
and she had major bruises on her thighs. I've never seen anything like it. Jesus. But so they can. She said there wasn't any problem when she was actually on it. It was just like after a while they were kind of just like it was a bit. Yeah, it was getting to that point.
But you do feel secure when you sat with them, yeah. You feel
100%.
The seat itself is really comfy. Like it's form fitting. There's no problems with the seats at all. Yeah. It's just like you know, some people really don't like the restraints on it. Like I said, I don't have a problem with them. And when you're going through inversions, like it's like they take RMCs take their inversions so quickly in some instances, and the heart lining on the rolls, on the 0G rolls, is so consistent. The roll rate is so consistent. There's no one moment in any of the any of the RMC 0G rolls that I've experienced where it's like that felt a little bit uncomfortable. Now, I've heard people say that about the final roll on Untamed, that it's a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know how you feel about it, Sean, but I mean, like that's the only one I can think of that you know, despite having not done it myself.
I just don't think like obviously everyone is different, but
yeah.
If I'm on an RMC, I'm on an RMC. I'm gonna have a sick ride. Like you can get on anything and be like, I'm a bit uncomfortable. But after you're on the ride, like you just forget about it, man. You just forget about the restraints.
My main thing with that is that like you're on an RMC. The ride experience is so balls to the wall. Anyway, you kind of forget about how
you haven't got time to think.
There's no time. There's no time to be thinking about how your legs are feeling. especially not on Zadra. Especially not on Zadra.
Like, it's a bit of Sorry, go on, mate.
Sorry, I was going to say, for me, it wasn't really sort of about comfort. It is genuinely more about security and feeling secure in that seat, knowing that obviously you are safe. To obviously, I mean, I know they're safe anyway, but obviously, that's just my primary thing. So
you're it's like if you go an Icon, like it's that same feeling of like you feel 100% secure. You're like this. You literally look down and you go, "There's physically no way I'm just slipping out of this." You know what I mean? Like you're like, this would defy like physics if I could like slip out of this.
Even like Shambhala with the clamshell, like even that. But that's
so.
I will say this: you feel more. It's gonna sound weird, but you feel more in the train on an RMC than you do on Mark coasters or like Shambhala, like you said, or like an intimate.
Fair.
Like
it's because it's more noticeable that it's there in a way. Like it's sort of thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Someone Ash Lloyd said the 0G stall is so mental. So this is this is the first RMC I've done that has like a legit 0G stall. The only other one I'd done was Steel Vengeance, and I don't really think that has like a legit stall. Like it stalls for like a split second and then it cuts back in the second inversion. So it's not really a legit stall where you just where you're hanging there. This is the first RMC I've done with a stall, and this was the inversion to me that made me think, okay, Alan Schilke is a fucking wizard. I don't know. Until now,
you're a wizard, Alan.
I can't figure out how he designed that for it to be such perfect weightlessness, 0G as you go through it. Like you whip into it, you whip out of it, but as you're there, like I thought there would be a bit of hang time and if it's running a bit slower, because we got some morning rides on it as well, and it does run a bit slower in the morning, like all other RMCs, they warm up a lot as the day goes on, but in the morning, like you get a little bit of hang time through the stall, but even then, like it's still mostly zero, it's still mostly weightlessness you're feeling, but like when it's going, it's such perfect 0G. I don't get how is that? That's I mean an engineering mind. Yeah,
like
an engineering mind to be able to figure that out.
He's been in many stunt planes. So
of course,
of course. I mean, at some point, probably not this episode, but we'll have to. I don't know if we've all seen it yet, but This Is How We Roll. Like, it's really, really good. We'll have to all make sure we've watched it before we have a proper chat about it.
Well, you want to do like a special on it?
Maybe even not like a whole episode,
like a half an hour, like chat about it or something.
We can do it.
That'd be cool.
It's a really special documentary. To
it's very worth. Like I've watched it a couple of times now. Like it's very worth. Having a chat about.
It's the personal. It's so rare for a documentary about coasters to just not be about coasters, and it's like it's like them almost like secondary, and it's about the people, and it's about it's about them like setting up the company, and it's really, really interesting. Especially like some of the stories they share. It's so good, and funny as well. Really funny. We'll have to do that somewhere.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I'd definitely be down to have a good chat about that.
Sure.
But yeah, what else can I say about
I want to ask you a question
about this monstrosity of a ride. Go on.
You know, the lat airtime hill after the first drop, what's that like?
You mean the little speed hill?
Yeah, but it's lat, isn't it? It's banked. It's not banked, but it turns.
It veers to the right a bit.
Yeah, and literally like a 10 degrees or something.
You feel all of it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
It's so good, and
that's what I wanted to know.
You feel all of that lateral force. It's amazing.
Is it just literally like you just kind of get picked up and moved and then drop back down?
Literally, it's like the train is coming at someone, and someone just goes, "Nah, you're going that way."
That is so cool.
Just yeets you over there.
Out of all of the elements on Zadra, that was the one I was most intrigued with, because when I first saw the POV that came from Energylandia with that, I was like, what the fuck? But to actually see that it actually does something to you, like
So,
it makes you feel like,
yeah,
different forces.
Yeah. So like that was one of the elements on Steel Vengeance that I was really curious as to how it was going to ride, because coming down a 200+ foot drop at 70+ miles per hour and then just hitting that, like, I was thinking that has to be, like, how is that even allowed? Like, that has to be crazy. And on Steel Vengeance, it kind of disappointed me a bit. It wasn't as insane in terms of the airtime, because obviously it's just straight. It doesn't turn to one side like Zadra's does. Like the airtime over that speed hill wasn't quite as just throw you to the sky kind of ejector air. So like I was wondering how Zadra's was going to feel being around about the same size, but having some Latinxes going to the right.
Legit.
So much better.
That's so
much
cool
better.
to hear. That's so cool to hear.
Because
I've always thought that.
Yeah, you feel the airtime, and obviously, like, it's like driving a race car, and you just all of a sudden just go, like just driving on the motorway, and all of a sudden you just go, and then the whole car goes that way. It legit feels like that. I was very glad to for that element to be much improved on Zadra from Steel Vengeance, in my opinion. Anyway.
I mean, you really saw it's like you are genuinely making me want to jump on like a plane and go there right now, purely just for that ride alone.
I've just watched the POV.
Yeah, it's.
I can't remember who I messaged because I messaged a bunch of people. After my first ride, I messaged a bunch of people. I was just like,
it was like a drunk guy going crazy.
What the fuck is this ride? And I said to somebody, I was just like, yo, all of you, it might have been you guys. I like, all of you.
You said
need
it.
To book planes and come ride this ride immediately.
I'm pretty sure you said it to me.
Go ride Zadra. And like I mean, like a trip out there is cheap as shit. I'm trying to do it next year. So like, I keep thinking that my favorite part of it was the like tip outer bank after the stall. But truthfully, every element on this thing like does something ridiculous to you. But
I'm just watching it now.
Yeah, like the outer bank, like the turn after the stall feels like it's just so fast. It's so fast. The turn into the outer bank and out of the outer bank, going back towards the second half of the layout. Both of those turns are so fast, and then like just the outer bank flings you one way and then just flings you back the other way, just so quick, so aggressively. I prefer it to Lightning Rod's outer bank because the transitions into it and out of it spends less time banked outwards, and it feels like it takes it at a faster speed, or the sense of speed it feels like is higher on that. So like it throws you, like Lightning Rods throws you one way, it holds you there for a couple of seconds and then throws you back. Zadra, there's no holding you there. Like it throws you.
I'm just watching that now.
Throws you it back.
Yeah, it's whippy.
I watched the POV as well.
Whippy as shit.
Bang.
Whippy
Bang.
as shit.
Yeah, it's literally like a second of transition. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oof. It's nuts.
And when that thing's hauling ass, I can imagine it being even less time between that.
Oh yeah. One moment where and the airtime hill that goes, like the airtime hill in the second half that passes by the first drop, super pure floater airtime, pure floater. It's so sick, so good,
Sam.
so good. What's up, Sam?
Is that Sam Costello from YouTube?
Sam Costello?
No, it's KSI, lads.
Don't. Don't encourage him. Hey Sam.
What was I gonna say?
Go on, Sam.
Yeah. My first ride on it, it's just like one moment where I feel like my soul just got catapulted into outer space. Was just the quick S bend before the final inversion. So Luke, you like Maverick is up there on your bucket list, and it is right up there.
Sure. 100%, yeah.
The whippy transitions in that first half,
yeah,
and basically throughout the entire ride, really. But just like how Maverick whips from left to right.
Ooh, yeah,
this was like that, but with a punch of ejector in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like it proper tips you over. Like you go over and then you bank in, and then obviously the Steam version afterwards, isn't it? Is that the one you're on about?
Yep.
The right
That's
and
the
then the
one.
left. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
looks
It goes from right to
crazily
left.
fast.
Oh my god,
that looks nuts.
Absolutely batshit crazy.
It's
man,
it's 3 seconds of transition from the first turn to the left to the right.
Yeah.
So you hit the inversion. That is just
insane, man. And leading out of that, like this, leading out of that, and this is what I mean when I talk about new Vekoma syndrome as well, because the transition going from that S bend, like that kind of S hill, up into the final inversion, it's not constant. It's banking left. It stops like
I've just
at 0
that.
degrees for like a split second, and then goes into the roll. It doesn't roll like consistently into. It doesn't bank like roll consistently into the roll.
Yeah,
and it's stuff like that you see on RMCs.
They rolled an RMC and they were like, we can't have continuous roll. It's not a thing in real life.
But yeah, like it's stuff like that you see on RMCs, on Intamins, on RMCs and Intamins especially, but on Max as well.
Yeah,
that those don't exist on Vekomas, and to me that's what kind of waters down the new Vekoma experience, in the sense that it's not that it's lacking, but that it's just not meant, like the new Vekomas aren't meant to be on that level, on that same, like, world class, world beating extreme level as of the others. And I mean, this is how deep, like, I go into my thought processes.
But you're right though. Like even B&Ms have their own, the little nuances to them. Like RMCs, every single one that I've seen has its own thing that it does. Every single one. And over the years, when they've been developing the track model and the trains especially and stuff, it seems like the ride experience is just getting better and better and better and better. I am so stoked for Iron Gwazi. Like, I am, like, that is slowly becoming that's slowly becoming like bucket, like above Maverick for me, and Maverick's really high for me. Like, Iron Gwazi is getting closer and closer to Velocicoaster for me. Like, it's getting there. And we're talking about RMCs for the last like 25 minutes. I'm just thinking, shit, I'm riding Iron Gwazi next year. Like, I better put my big boy pants on, because this thing's gonna kick my ass. Like, I can. I mean, like, it's gonna happen.
They're not for the faint-hearted.
No. And I mean, just
Harry in the chat. What's going on, Harry?
Yeah, that's up, Harry. It's gonna be interesting to see what this thing does compared to like Zadra, because obviously Zadra was after Vengeance, Gwazi's after Zadra. So like, what's,
I think that Gwazi is gonna resemble, in terms of its nature and its characteristics, it's gonna resemble Zadra much more than Steel Vengeance.
That's what I was thinking. Opinion. Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, like it seems to focus on sense of speed more so than quantity of airtime moments. Which is personally my preference. That speaks to me very highly. But
I mean, that wave turn over the station, that looks incredible. And obviously that downwards 0G as well. The way that the speed it takes that at from that POV we've seen. Dude, that looks sick as hell.
The speed it takes to turn around and then the airtime hill down into the pit looks like it looks illegal. especially from Midway Mayhem's far away with zoomed in lens off ride point of view that he shot. The train just went. It literally went like that. It was gone. Like dissolved in the air. Yeah, it was. So RMC, keep on giving. Honestly, keep on giving.
I need more ground up hybrids. I need more of them. Please don't focus too much on the Raptors and the eventual T-Rexes whenever you get round to finishing that off. Just like I need more ground up hybrids in my life. Even if you run out of if you run out of wooden coasters to convert, just keep building these things all over the place because they're so good. They're so good.
I'd settle for riding just one right now, to be fair, actually. just one.
Energylandia has to happen. Like I knew it was good. I knew it was good, and from everyone else's, but to hear like one of my best mates tell me it's like you've got to fucking get on a plane and get out there right now, sir. Like that is that is that's.
But I mean, like
I sold it.
Hopefully when like you guys do get out there, and hopefully when we do, because I mean I'll most likely be there with you when you do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully when we got that, like, I say you guys because like to say this. Hopefully you guys go for the two coasters, but stay for the rest of the park because the park is super pleasant. It's much more well-rounded of a park than I thought it would be, and it really surprised me. I really want to go back, not only for Hyperion and Zadra and Abyssus and and Formula and the rest of them, but for the park itself, because the park is it's a really nice atmosphere to be in.
I got that from Screw Loops' vlog, like Chris did when he went over there. I got that from his vlog. He was like, the park's like really it was such a good vibe that I got from that. So again, to hear that from you, I'm really looking forward to going out there now.
Yeah, man.
It kind of reminds me in a way of it's sort of like a European sort of Cedar Point almost, but not quite as sort of like intensity kind of intense, if that makes sense.
Probably will be in about 10 years time.
Yeah,
in 10 years time,
in terms of
in
terms of the like coaster lineup, like they can't be compared. There's
a massive difference.
Past the top two, and then Abyssus and Formula, like there's obviously still a serious drop off. Cedar Point's lineup doesn't drop off until like Cedar Point's lineup doesn't drop off until like maybe like the 6th or 7th best coaster there. but yeah, like in terms of it, like I do kind of find similarities in the atmosphere of both. I would say Energylandia's feels especially recently since like Cedar Point management with a gold pass and just like how crowded the park's been. Like I can, from what I've heard, like the experience has gone a bit tits up recently. When I went in 2019, comparing that experience to my experience of Energylandia last weekend, like I do see similarities in how like the atmospheres of both, how Cedar Point is supposed to feel, and how Energylandia feels now.
And also,
that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but for me, it's like the ride intensity, the fact there is so much there, and obviously so much to see and do. And I imagine that Cedar Point is quite similar to that because obviously, not only do you have all the headline big coasters, but then you've also got all the flat rides and all the other rides that kind of go with that as well. That's why I can sort of see a similarity from sort of that point of view. Obviously, in terms of like the ride lineup, there is a massive difference. You still got two headline ones at Energylandia, but obviously Cedar Point has a whole host of them.
Sure.
So that's kind of where I would sort of draw in a similarity, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I would say Cedar Point is, I would say, a fair way ahead of Energylandia in terms of having that sort of like resort atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
Like, because even outside of the rides, like grouping the coasters and the flat rides together in general, there's a shit ton to do at Cedar Point outside of riding anything. So like they are, like I said, quite a bit ahead in terms of the multifaceted sort of destination park experience. But Energylandia is
there's more
on its way
markets, target markets.
Energylandia is on its way there.
If it
guess
keeps
so.
up this pace, up this pace, and
It's like
build a
bang,
resort,
bang,
and
bang.
I mean,
Every
they
year.
just expanded they just added a massive expansion to their water park. I think.
yeah,
I can't remember. I can't remember if it was earlier this year or last year or just sometime real recently. They just expanded their water park. I think they've got. I think I remember one of us saying that they have plans to open because they've got the Western Camp Resort. They also, I think, apparently want to open an actual hotel, like
nice.
an actual proper
I've heard
hotel as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you can tell what they're trying to do and where their money's going and stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Lek for a bit, because
Go for it.
Lek is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Lek's so good, and like when I said earlier that Lek is the outlier to New Vekoma syndrome, it is absolutely the outlier, because it feels so much more. It feels so much more aggressive than Abyssus, than Formula, than any other New Vekoma that I've ridden. The two Suspended Family coasters. Obviously, it's going to be more aggressive than those, but it just feels different in nature to all of them. I said this. James agreed with me, and other people that I've spoke to have said this as well. It feels like Vekoma didn't expect Lek to be to run as fast as it does, and because of that, they kind of reined it in a little bit in terms of the design of the ones, the successors, just the future ones going forward, and they feel more in line with maybe what Vekoma was intending for them to be like, but like it's kind of like RMC with the Raptors, like Shilky rode a Raptor, it was just like, oh, that's a bit faster than I was expecting. and then they reined it in a little bit with the second gen models, with Jersey Devil Coaster and Stunt Pilot. It feels like the same thing happened with Vekoma with Lek.
Right.
They may have oversped it a bit and thought, okay, yeah.
Maybe they
okay.
knew what RMC did, and they were like, okay, let's give this a go. Let's see if we have to rein it back. Oh shit, we gotta rein it back. No one's gonna buy these. These are too intense.
Yeah, but
Lek Coaster 1 is too intense for me.
yeah, Lek is. The nature of Lek kind of reminded me of Maverick a little bit. like not
really?
not so much. Maybe not on the same level, but in terms of the nature, in terms of like what it
how
was
fierce it is.
Maybe doesn't achieve it to the degree that Maverick does, but you ride it and it's like, oh, it's trying to do that. It is trying to do that. Like it is. It's that's what it's trying to do. The way it was taking some of the transitions, the way it was taking some of the inversions, I was like, okay, all right, I know what I'm in for here. And as we got into the night rides and stuff, it like just more of it, just more speed, more aggressive, more aggression, just from basically from start to finish. It's an incredible ride. Funny thing is, like there was no one in the park. There was no one at Legendia when we went. Like there can't have been more than 100 people in the park. The park was dead. Dead. Friday night, and the ride ops were basically just like they would open the air gates. Whoever was in the air gates would get onto the train, and then they would just wait there for more people to come in. So like the dispatches were taking like anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes because
Wow.
there was just no one there to fill up the train.
Wow.
So like
You're all
it
sat
got
on the back.
It got to the point where I was just lapping, I was just going, but like I didn't like I wanted to get a few rides in a particular seat, so like I wouldn't move, and like they just let me stay there. So I was like, so I'd be like pulling my phone out to text people in between cycles. Like I'm there texting in Discord and stuff.
You sent us a picture in the chat of just like you just like on the back.
I just took a selfie in the train.
Or is that the one with like the restraint above your head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously put my phone away, secured it when it was time to get the restraints down, and it was time to send the ride. And that obviously I'm not taking it out during the ride. I would never.
You was literally late, waiting for
encourage anybody to do that. But yeah, just like as we're just sat there before they close the air gates and be like, right, let's send this train. I'm just they're texting people because they're taking so long to send the train. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
Imagine just sitting on Wicker Man, just texting people. Like you don't even get a chance to, you know.
You can sometimes get that on Swarm.
Yeah,
we got it a couple times.
Yeah.
If someone's in the air gates waiting for that row, they'll just move you to an empty row.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if it's dead, they'll just be like, just stay in your seat.
But yeah,
that's nuts.
Lek is incredible. That's in my top 15 coasters for sure. It's awesome. It's so awesome.
That high up with everything you've ridden. That's
It's
that's
good.
Cool.
It's really fucking good.
It's good to see that the newer coasters that have been in the newer built coasters, because you've been on some absolute classics. Let's put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And all these newer coasters that you're going on that have been built are like taking you higher spots. It just shows you how much the industry's moved forward. Like it really does.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like my top 10 is partially dominated by RMC. It's like
that's understandable though.
so like and I mean like it also speaks to I have been on some on some big names, but like they're like the B&Ms that I've been on still hold their weight in my top 15, in my top 20. It shows how much technological advancements with roller coasters have grown over time, and the best ones of past eras and generations have like still hold up to today. So
definitely.
So like so about Lek, like I hope that there is a real fear that Legendia might be on its last legs, because that park was desolate, and I really hope that the park was desolate. A lot of rides were closed. A lot of areas of the park just kind of felt forgotten, and I really hope that they're able to. It kind of feels like they were in part at least decimated by COVID and stuff. That was maybe the first park that I've been to post the height of COVID where I was like, yo, this park feels decimated by at least in part by by the pandemic. So I just hope that people keep going there, and the owners don't have like inclination to maybe close it or anything. I don't know what they would do with Lek Coaster if that
it's a black ball
be the case.
I think they're just
why not?
Why not?
I think it's more like they'd sell the park than just let it shut down.
Perhaps, yeah. I just hope that like you just have to hope that
or they sell it to Energylandia. They sell Let Coaster to Energylandia.
Perhaps,
Probably.
perhaps.
We'll just have an Energylandia like satellite park in the
It,
centre.
it almost seems
Imagine.
like Legendia is like Energylandia's second gate because it's just
Yeah.
it's just down the road.
Kind of is in a way.
You know when a university has a smaller campus away from
Yeah.
the main campus?
A small campus.
It's like-
Fuck's sake.
The one that
that's-
normally the one
that's where I
that
got the
normally
satellite
holds
thing
like
from.
all the game designs and like, just
Yeah.
all the guys in one.
Art
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
performing arts.
Yeah. Also,
I mean, maybe it's jumping the gun a little bit to say like what could happen to it, but yeah, like hopefully they're able to hold on to that. Hold
Yeah,
on to what a high quality coaster lek is. But yeah, I mean that was it. It was 3.5 days at Energylandia, an evening at Legendia. Very intensive coaster experience. Didn't really get to see much else in Poland, but I mean, it's so like as we said, we're so fucking cheap to get over there. Like it's no issue to get back over there and include more of Krakow even, and see what else is going on there in that area.
Sure, why not?
What I did see from what I like the parts of the country that I did see is a gorgeous country. I would love to go back and do more non-theme park stuff in a future trip. So
no one needs to do that. It's so
yeah, what am I saying?
So yeah, no, that's good. I'm really intrigued to hear what Luke thought of the Tower Scare Mazes, man.
I thought
Yeah.
that they were on the first day was the first mazes I'd done for a long time, especially at Towers. So we did Darkest Depths first, Joe.
We
on
did,
the first day.
That's
So that was like,
and Joe, you've done these recently as well. I mean, you done
yeah,
them
he
in the
did
last-
all these last year.
Yeah.
So I did them last year,
So-
and obviously I've done them this year as well. And yeah, there's quite a few substantial differences between the two experiences for me personally.
Well,
but
I
obviously-
was so like happy that they didn't change any of the mazes from last year. Like that they didn't close any, they didn't open any new ones. You know, I just wanted it to be the same lineup because how everyone were coming out of the attic and mine tours, and you know, everyone was like, yeah, it's really good. And I was like, oh man, I'm so gutted. We went to Scarefest and there were no Scare Maze tickets, so it's like, shit, that was such a bummer. So we made a point of it this year to go for 2 days, do the mazes on both days, do the mazes with slightly different experience as well, which was obvious that was going to happen anyway. But so we did Darkest Depths, obviously. Actually, just a quick one. We did Trick or Treat Town, which I thought was, it's not Scare Maze for adults. It's for kids. Basically, it's just trick or treat indoors, and it's a themed. There's loads of themed areas. I thought it was very fun. I thought it was really fun. We actually did get a couple of scares.
We did.
Yeah.
So someone absolutely shit himself.
There was three of us. There was another girl on her own in front of us, but we were all quite of older age, so they knew that this little group that's in these rooms, they can turn it up a tiny little bit, and there was one scare. I don't want to throw Joe under the bus. Not this Joe, but the other Joe. He got good. He got it good. Like I've never seen.
Well, they come like they literally they come in different. You don't. There's some places where like you don't expect them to come out of.
Yes. So you'll be knocking on one side of the street, and then like the trapdoor drop down.
Yeah.
And that got us a couple of times. The interaction with the staff as well, with the actors, was brilliant. That's such a laugh.
So good.
I thought the music was amazing. Spoke to Simon Allen about that as well. That was really cool.
What an incredible guy.
Amazing. And it was just It was just a really funny. I thought the two actors as well, the roaming actors,
Yeah,
at the queue line,
the one with
They
his
were like-
skeleton mask and the little
yeah, they were
Yeah,
like
yeah,
throwing
yeah.
the bins over. They were like saying, "No, you're having a floor bag. You can't have a clean bag. You want to have a
Bin bag or a
floor."
floor bag.
Stuff like, they were just causing chaos with the queue host. So there was someone who was hosting at the queue, and they
Yeah.
were just like sending her like up the wall, like just
They,
doing crazy
um,
little menace things. It was just so funny.
They remind me of the Trick or Treaters out Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
likewise.
That
I feel
pretty
like
much.
that's what they're meant to. They're going after, I think.
But what was great though is that they didn't just stay in that section of the park. They kind of wandered around, and because
Yeah.
their costumes didn't look as high end as say the ancestors,
Yeah,
you question sometimes whether they were actually actors or just people who were just dressed up walking around the park.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
only until you
genuinely it is.
interacted with them or they like looked at you funny and stopped.
yeah,
Like, have you been to Trick or Treat Town? You know, like it was like, yes,
Yeah.
I've been. I got lots of sweets. Like that is not good. You know, like it was. It was really funny. I loved it. I loved the music. I loved the theme. I thought some of the set pieces were awesome. Obviously, as well in the Charlie building, that was cool to see. Good use of space and a good little addition. I think for families, it's absolutely amazing. If I had kids, I'd definitely take
Yeah.
them in that. It was just
I-
spot on.
I feel
Theo
like
would
it's
have
just a
loved it.
shame that
Definitely.
people will miss it because of the price point of it. Is that like people will just write it off to be like it's just for kids, where it basically is designed for kids, but
It is,
anyone
but-
could appreciate that, mate. That
Yeah,
well, not
yeah.
mate, but experience. Anyone could
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It
I feel
was
like.
really fun. It was really fun. There was a couple of jump scares because there was like distractions at points.
Yep.
The stories they had going through them as well. Like each door had a different story. It was just really, really well done. I thought they
I
nailed
felt
it.
like it was a bit of a shame because everyone was like moaning that there's not a new scare maze this year at Towers, when in reality, a lot of
Technically,
budget
there
has
was,
been
in a
spent
way.
on that. Like the sets in there are insane. Like
they're
the
really
scale
good.
of them.
So
They've created like an actual
Smells
town,
as
like
well.
streets
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Like I thought it was really, really good.
That cauldron. Did you see the cauldron?
Yeah,
that was
the
so
bubbling cauldron.
cool.
Yeah,
That was really
yeah.
cool. That was really cool. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give that a little bit of a shout out because I just really enjoyed it. And if you have got chance, guys, and you are going to Scarefest soon, tomorrow, whenever, give it a go because it was fun, and you get a bag full of sweets as well at the end of it, which is always nice.
Which
When
lasted
you're
about
waiting
2
in queue
seconds.
lines. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it lasted me. I was like, I had the bag out in my bag, and I just kept on dipping my
It's
hand
like
in,
one
and
shit
everyone,
the whole time,
and
just
them
like,
two
yeah,
were like,
done.
them two were like, I thought you were finished. Like, no, I just have another one.
Another one. And another one.
It was good.
If
It
you
was good. It was
do
really
it
good.
if you do it after 3 o'clock as well, it's
Yeah.
empty. Like it's
Yeah.
honestly empty because obviously all the kids have normally gone home and stuff. So it's a good one to save to a little bit later.
I would say as well, if you can interact with the two menace actors that are there, just do it. Just
Yeah.
we spent 10 minutes with them like before we went in. They were just going crazy. It was so much fun. But anyway,
chaos.
Darkness ascended on Alton Towers, and we did Darkest Depths first, which was so I was really excited, proper up for it. We walked past it a couple of times during the day, and we got in pre-show. Thought it was spectacular. Thought the storyline was brilliant throughout the whole thing. On the first day, the captain held us back in one of the runs.
He did, yeah.
We think it was a capacity thing that the group didn't quite get through the next area, but he was giving us a proper good talking to.
It was so
It was picking people out, like show us your muscles, or you're not strong enough. You know, like it was going like round him, you know, like just taking the piss out of people basically. And and then we finally got through. I thought the smells, the way the sets angled as well, the way you have to go underneath things like the netting, the rat runs, which we later discovered are really clever in that maze.
incredibly clever.
Yeah, and I just thought it was an overall fantastic experience. Few scares, not many scares to be honest with you, but more of wow, look at that. Oh wow, what's that? And then I did. Yeah, it got me at the end. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I was looking to the left because I was trying to get around where all the, how you get out. I was like, where am I going next? I didn't know when the maze was going to end because I'd never done it. So I was just still going. All of a sudden, there was like a tentacle like that far away from my face. I'm like, what the fuck? What's that shit? And then I was just like, yeah. And then we went through the next bit, and I was like, oh, damn. Is that it? That is at the end. I was like, damn. I wish I'd looked to see it properly. So I was like, I made a point of like at the end of that, the next day, I'm going to look directly at it and give it eye contact. And like, that was fun. Really good maze. Thought it was awesome. Then we did the attic.
I was just going to say about Darkest Depths, right? They've not really changed that from last year, really. It's still the same intensity as it was when it opened up as like a 10 plus mate, like the kiddie maze.
It didn't feel any different, to be honest.
I mean no, it didn't really. But I just remember going into that maze expecting like Trick or Treat Town. And then being like,
oh no,
what the hell was that? Like,
you got like people going like, like
it was still like it was pretty much the similar type of thing, acting wise and stuff. I don't think it has. I think they've just changed the age of it because it would probably just had too many complaints because it is scary. Imagine taking a kid through that. They would be losing their mind. Scared the hell out of me
grim as well.
I know.
Did it? Did it scare it? Did it?
The first time I ever did it, I was proper. Like,
what was cool?
Like,
so when the captain held us back, the group went ahead, and he was like, he chose someone to lead us. I was behind him, and he went, "Oh mate, you go ahead." So for my first run through for 3/4 of the Darkest Depths, I was at the front.
Yeah,
I was leading the whole group. So that made it like, and these are rooms that I'd never been in before, sets that I'd never seen. So each corner was like a new. It felt like it was 10 minutes longer than what it was, and it was awesome.
Tell a lie, they have added some new things in there, like ducking below things and stuff.
You duck below the nets now. Apparently, But I can't speak from past experiences. But my experiences this year, there's a reason why I'm going back to Alton Towers, on Halloween to do Scarefest again.
I could do Darkest Depths. To be honest, most of them, but Darkest Depths, I just think stunning. Like it's honestly so stunning.
It's
like,
really good. It doesn't feel like what it is. So we did behind the scenes tour of it afterwards, and we even walked through it, like half of it backwards as well. We ended up walking back on ourselves a good few times to look at things, and the details that are in there, you wouldn't even dream of. There's so many details in there and how they hide things, and it's crazy.
I spent an hour in that maze filming people's reactions, and
which bit did you film in the most for the reactions?
We filmed mainly in, when you come out of, when the guy's like running around saying the ship's sinking, and then you go and then the guy comes at you. I was like mainly filming around there, but I did two kind of little filming bits in there where I filmed mainly in that room for a bit, and that was wicked because I was sat there and I was next to this, like I've never seen it before. It was a hole in the wall, and there's like rain. Looks like rain's coming down, and I was like, I've never seen that. I missed that the first time I did it. There's loads of little details in there that you're just like, Jesus, like there's so much more detail than you think. But again, what we had to do, like we had to come back on ourselves because we got evac'd, and then we come back in for the exit, and then doing it backwards is really surreal, like you say. It's really weird.
It is.
But it's just like, and then like the next day we did some filming where I just posed the actors. So I just went through each room and then just said, do this, do that. And I just spent some time in there. So it's really cool that, you basically got, the experience I got, but more because you got like a guided tour around it and stuff.
We had torches on our phones because they didn't put the lights on. They put the house lights on. So they just basically said, just whack your torches on your phone. So we was able to like go up to the rats and even like the old food and cheese that's there. Like there was maggots in them. There was maggots in the cheese and stuff. And it's just like
details that make it
real. You don't even think about it. No, they were fake, but it looked real, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing to do it. And it's crazy walking through it, but we'll talk about walking through a maze backwards because we did that junkyard. We did that.
We did
quite a lot actually. so that was cool. So then we did the attic. We fucked up. We got back of the group. And I realized this halfway through the next maze because that was. So we did the attic. I thought the set pieces were absolutely stunning. Every single one of them were just incredible theming. Even the queue line before you even get into where the house is. I was blown away by that. Like that is, I came out of that thing and I was like, how is that in this building?
Yeah.
How have they done it? It's witchcraft. Legit. How they've built that in there and made you feel like you're in a completely different place.
The fact that they think about the flooring, like in the attic, as well, like how you're like creaking on floorboards,
creaking floors. Yeah. Kieran was saying that they spent like a good 2 weeks or something trying to find the right perfect sound for the creaky floorboards and stuff like that. So yeah, it's insane. So we get through. I got a lot, even though we're at the back, I did have a lot of interactions with the actors. Like they were following us through rooms, which I thought was a good way of interacting with the back of the group.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can hear the screams and everything else. And it was great. There were some really freaky moments. Like you just look in the corner. By the way, guys, this is going to be full of spoilers, just to let you know. When you look in the corner, there's like someone just twitching out in the corner with like the smallest of white lights on the face as they're just twitching. And then something else goes on over on the other side, and it really takes you away. I didn't get. Now we discussed this on Twitter, didn't we? But I didn't get the finale of the attic, so I just came through that door, down the stairs, and I'm like, oh, like especially after doing Darkest Depths and just having that finale there, but it just felt like it lacked.
That was the first time though.
When we did our actual run, me and Jay did our run through. The finale wasn't there either, and that's been like I've heard a lot of people saying that, and it's like, well, maybe they should have more than one actor if he's having to have breaks all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
They need to have, because that's a big part of that maze is the final bit.
Oh, like, for sure, and it builds up to it all the way through. It builds and builds and builds.
It's the whole point. It's the whole point of it. It's like more than half the maze is going through the hell bit and leading up to what you're about to see. So like it's a bit stupid, I think, that they're having.
So so you can imagine how I felt coming out of that, because everything was so good. Build up. Oh, it's finished. I was like, shit. And I was saying to Joe, I was like, did I miss something? Like, why did it not feel like it ended?
Yep. You missed a massive part.
And I really did.
But you did get that on the second day with the attraction source. Obviously, the guy that plays it was actually there, and that guy was killing it that day. Like,
we'll get to that.
Massively.
I always feel like attic for me is I don't really ever get major scares in it anyway. But for me, the attic is about like the creepiness.
Yes.
I felt like that's
freaky
for me. It's just really, it's just weird. It's just creepy.
So like the dolls with the red eyes and stuff. Like it was like, what the what? Yeah,
I kind of like that about the attic, that it isn't full on.
My imagination is way too overactive for that shit.
See, you should 100% give them a go, because they're like the not extreme, the themed experiences. That's what I would call them.
To be honest, like I like the reason why I haven't got to Scarefest this year is much more just having to prioritize what I'm doing in this.
And I mean, Zadra is top of the list, bro. And I get that. But you should.
It's 1A. It's 1A at least.
yeah. So when we do get out to Scarefest next year, when James comes up from down south, we'll have to go. We'll have to have a group, because there's a pretty good group here. So that'd be good. Aaron as well. A few people included. So.
I'd happily go Scarefest and just not go to Fright Nights next year.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just.
But yeah, so yeah, we came out the attic. I was a bit disappointed, and then we decided to do Alton Mine Tours. That was a bit of a step up. Jesus. We so like talk about not having an ending to a maze and then going through that thing. Oh my god. even like from just lining people up at the start before you go in to the interaction there, just giving you shit basically, freaking you out. There's one moment where he was like, "My sister," and he looked over at the hill and he went, "She's not over there. Don't look over there." And I was like, "Oh, that's so clever! That is so clever!" Because everyone turned and he's like, "It's not over there."
But
See, now, I would appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great. It's
Like,
clever,
that's
right?
clever.
It's
That's
smart.
clever.
It's very smart. And Joe, the other Joe, he got right in over Joe's face, and he just went, "I want my mum!" Like, and the actor broke character for a split second, laughing.
Yeah.
But then he carried it on into his character, like kicked his boots, and then just like ran with it. It was really cool. It's good how they think on the spot.
Yeah,
How they can just completely switch the mindset on the spot. They're absolute geniuses. They really are. And then you obviously get inside it, and then you have that like pre-show going down the shaft. That is, I got
Something
proper
else, is that?
Subterra vibes out of that. Like that gave me something that I'd missed for a long time. And the way that they do it with the strobe, the way they take the time moving towards you, so like every time you look up, they're in a different position. Very Molly Lee-esque, like out the dungeons. But yeah, and then you just go through this absolute chaos.
do you know there's a lot of lasers in that maze that trigger things that I was having to step over when I was filming. It was like Mission Impossible. Where I was like, I had to keep remembering all the lasers were. Step over that.
All the
That's
sensors
quite
in
funny.
there. I bet it was pretty difficult carrying your rig in there as well. I mean,
Mate,
it is pretty. Yeah, it's very cramped.
It's one of the hardest mazes to film, and I had to do a whole POV facing, walking backwards in it. So Joe was having to like guide me
going backwards and also stepping over lasers.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, entrapment.
It's a mad experience when you're doing that. It's a whole different thing, and the actors just see you coming, so they're still scared the shit out of you. But I'm like, I'm filming.
It just reminds me of that film with Sean Connery. But it's
please.
it's mad. Yeah, legit. That is your job. That's crazy. It's so cool. But got the finale on that for sure. Came out of that, was dead excited then for what Freak Show Toxic Junkyard was going to be like. We literally got straight over there. It was closed, unfortunately. Something had happened in the maze. We just hung around for about 15 minutes and then we were in. And we were basically, by the way, mine tours, it was me and then Joe. No, it was Joe and then me and then another Joe and then the rest of the group. So again, we were at the front, made it a million times better. And then same Toxic Junkyard, you basically feel like you're on your own anyway in that thing.
Yeah.
And they were just going crazy on us. Like I was followed, I think I counted about 6 times, and there's not that many zones in it. But I was followed like 6 times. I look around and I'm like, all right, that character's gone now. I go for an next bit, they go for a rat run, and they appear in like 2 minutes, like a minute later, they'd appear in front of me and just like look at me as if they're still following me. And then like more distractions will come. It was just made what's that? Having the suits inflated.
Yeah, in mine tours, the gas mask suits. They used to be more inflated as well. They used to be like you couldn't actually used to get down them corridors without having to literally like push through,
fight your way through them.
But they're a little bit inflated this year. But
but I loved Freak Show Toxic Junkyard. It just felt like you'd walked into Joker's area, and at any moment he's going to pop up, and there's going to be a fight between him and Batman at any one point. That's what it felt like. It was just chaos. It was just clown chaos. Not even clowns. They were just like their own thing. It's their own thing. But damn, them chainsaws are close. I got one really close. The first run through, came out of there. I was so hyped. I was like, that was so good. But the whole night, I was like, what happened in the attic? And then them two are trying to explain to me what it is. And I'm like, it still doesn't make any sense to me because I felt like there was a lot of people in there. The first time I went through, there was a lot of people in there. We just missed it. We did it first on the Attraction Source event. So we were in. Did we do it first, second?
No, we did Altonville first.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
we did Altonville first. Yeah.
The attic.
Well, I'll just
then,
go.
I
I'll
think it
just
was.
talk about the attic first because there was a group of 15 of us. They split us up into different groups. At the end, it ended up being me, Joe, and Craig and Josh. So there's 4 of us. There was 4 of us that went through the attic, and it was me in front of Josh. So I got the whole experience of the attic. Like the whole experience,
Yeah.
like the whole thing, like what it's supposed to be.
Including the finale as well.
Yeah, the finale. Let's put it this way. I was in there a lot longer than the other people. let's put it that way. I was held back by something, and it was absolutely terrifying but brilliant at the same time.
Yeah, Justin won't let you go anywhere on that one at all.
No, it wasn't. No, shout out to Justin if you plays
Massive shout out to Justin.
He knew who we were though, because he used to be part of Towers Times and attractions, so he used to go to the events and stuff. So he was like, he knew who we were, and I messaged him, and he said something like, "I hope you enjoyed your time in hell." I was like, "Dude, you're still in character, like on Facebook, like come on." But yeah, it was epic. It was so good. Yeah, and then we did mine tours first, and yeah, Joe, I'll let you talk about that one because that was a different experience.
It was very different to the first day. It felt a lot darker, to be honest with you. In fact, that seemed to be the common theme on the second day, was the fact that all these mazes felt a lot lower in light.
Yeah.
But also,
to be fair though, Joe, when we went in them with the behind the scenes, they still felt like that. So I don't think it was. I don't think it was just for our groups. I think they just turned the lights down that day.
But what time did you do the mazes on the Friday?
On the Friday, we did them just like twilight time.
So yeah, that's the thing. Like because so when you did them on the Friday, that's the thing. Like you did them in the daylight, so your eyes are just into daylight, so it's gonna feel generally darker.
But I mean, in terms of Altonville on that first day, I mean, it felt a lot more intense. The actors really ramped it up, so you were going through, and they were full on right in your face. And obviously, that was their first run through of the day as well. So we were getting these lovely, fresh performances. Everything felt consistent. There was a lot of banter between the actors in terms of that first character in the pre-show. Kind of went,
definitely,
the whole thing felt so much better. And it feels a lot like, it literally feels like you're walking through the hills of ice. That's the only way I can describe it. It genuinely feels exactly like that. Just the guys were on point. Everything was perfect, and loved it. And as I said in the log, Towers, when it comes to picking the right people for the right roles, these guys have got it down to an absolute T. They really have.
Definitely.
And that's the same thing throughout all the mazes. So Altonville Mine Tours on that second day was just, it was that. Really was.
I didn't get shot though the second time. I don't know. I was like, nah.
And they chased you through that rat run part towards the end as well, which I thought was quite fun.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
The staff at Scarefest that doing the mazes was so good. Like they're so good. Like the management and stuff. Like once they got to know me and Joe when we was doing the filming, every time they saw us, it was like, "Oh, you want to go in? Yeah, sure. We'll hold." And like just so accommodating, and
that's cool.
They're so passionate about the maze that they're running as well. Like you talk to them about it, and they're just like 100% in it. 100%. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really good.
It was cool to come out of the mazes and say they'd like, "Oh, did you enjoy that?" Because they hear us talking, and we were like, "Oh, we're going to mention this, we're going to mention that." And they were like, "Did you enjoy that?" And was like, "Yeah, we really loved it. It was amazing. This bit was cool. This bit was cool." And they were like, "Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for the feedback. It's really, really helpful." And that's just people just telling people to come in. Obviously, didn't give anything away to the people in the queue. We're not like come out of James Bond and go, "Oh, he got shot." It's like you're not going to do that in the middle of the audience. But it was such a good experience. It was so good to learn about how much goes into it, how much went into Trick or Treat Town as well. Like he spoke for a good 25 minutes about that as well, how it came about and everything. Unfortunately, we couldn't film the mazes, we couldn't film the behind the scenes. All I would say is I want to say a massive thank you to Attraction Source as well for putting the event on and Alton Towers, all the staff involved. Guys, do not miss out on Scare Mazing next year. Get on it. It's It's so good.
Incredible.
Be prepared to leave the park around 12:30 though. If you're do the behind the scenes, we literally left on the next day. We left the next day.
And I mean, I had like a 2.5 hour journey back to Leeds, but it was worth every minute of the drive back. It really was
worth every minute waiting around for the queues to empty out. And you know, you're in your groups as well. Everyone's friendly, everyone's like-minded as well, so everybody really gets on. Shout out to Dark Shadow as well for hanging out with us. That was cool.
Such a great guy.
So yeah, it was epic. Loved every minute of it, every second of it. I'm so glad I got to experience the attic though, how it's supposed to, because I was really negative on it. The first day I was like, what's everyone going on about? And it was clear why what everyone was going on about. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got both experiences. So
it's mad though with that though, because it's like it's a bit of a shame that one thing will spoil a maze, because it's such an important, that's such an important part, that end bit is. And we had the same, we missed it, but luckily it wasn't our first go, so we knew, you know. But the first time we ever did it blew my mind, like when it come out of nowhere. So
it's just the whole build up to that moment. It's so pivotal to actually the story, and like you say, I think it should be two. At least, you know, it should be shared out a bit.
The best thing about it is once you know what's there, the next time you do it, it's even scarier, because
of course it is.
Them halls go on forever. Like
they do.
Every time I do it, I'm like, this is so much longer than I thought it was, and I'm like, where's it going to come?
Strobe.
And you got all the actors like coming out of nowhere, going, "He's gonna get you," and you're just like, "What?" The rat runs in attic.
You're gonna burn in hell.
that little boy though was like, literally, he probably, I don't know if it was the same person. But he was just like, he was stood in a corner like this, just like. I just caught him out the corner of my eye, and I genuinely, even that made me jump.
And
so creepy.
I had the same actress following me, and she was just going, "You're gonna die. He's gonna get you. You're gonna die." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, because that was the second. So that was the second day. So, and then I was like, "Yeah, he got me." Like,
he got
well and truly, it was good. Definitely check out Attraction Source's events. You'll be able to go on attractionsource.com/uk, towerstimes.com as well. Follow them all on socials as well. Make sure you subscribe to their YouTube channel. They do a lot of really cool stuff. They've just done a really cool, unique 360 POV of 13.
That feels really cool.
which is sick. They're doing a lot with towers as well, which is really cool. So yeah, check them out. Towers Times, Attraction Source. Thanks to Craig for sharing that memory with me as well, going through the attic. That second day was nuts. You can imagine what Craig was like, right? Like it was just so hyped, and then he was just like, "Fuck you now!" Like, and then we did Junkyard, and he did it again anyway. I'm getting fucking too old for this. Like, nicest guy in the world ever. Just like walking through his maze. But yeah, going through the mazes backwards. Especially Freak Show Toxic Junkyard when we did the behind the scenes, because we actually walked to the end gate and it was locked, so we had to come out the entrance.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So we walked back, and I was saying to Kieran, like, how crazy it is. You can see the intensity of the maze open up, like so like you got all the chainsaw area, you know, the rat runs that are just crazy. You can go. We actually ran through the rat runs as well. They let us run through them all, which was really cool. And we ended up scaring a few people as well at some points. So but going through the maze backwards, like you never realized where things are placed. So when you go around corners, like there's mirrors, there's a mirror section bit in Freak Show Toxic Junkyard, and it's just got this clown face painted on it. But what you don't realize is that you wouldn't see it unless you're coming from a certain angle. And it's just so clever. Like the little things, the little details that they do. The way that the room changes shape, the way things open up and close up, the way they use things in between as well. It was just an amazing event, guys. You've got to jump on it. They're awesome, honestly. They're really good, and I just really enjoyed it. And to be my first Scarefest for a long time with mazes, it was that's the reason why I'm going back. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
What one of my standout moments this year was being we had to film one bit in Mine Tours. There's one actor and we needed to get because we did a run through and the actor wasn't there, so we had to go back in and we got led in by the manager. And we went through all the rat runs, and then there's one bit we had to, because there's still people going through it, we had to stay in this middle rat run for probably about 10 minutes.
Really?
And
wow.
It was pitch black. It was pitch black. Me and Joe were in there. I had my camera bag on my back, so it's like sticks out loads. And then there's actors just constantly just running around us, like coming in one end, going out the other. And then we could hear all these people screaming around us, and it was more terrifying than the actual maze itself. Like, I was like, someone's gonna run into me any second.
Yeah.
And then so like there's me, Joe, and then the manager of the maze. We're all just like huddled together in the middle of this room, and we're like, okay, just stay here. And then we go out, do the filming, and then we go out a rat run, and then like some guests follow us out the rat run, so they missed like the entire maze. So they had to go back round and do it again. It was just such a funny moment.
It's mad how many guests actually like walk towards the rat runs as well. In Darkest Depths as well. A lot of people were going towards, and I'm thinking,
yeah,
that's not the right way. That's not right.
Yeah,
like keep going. Like
it's pretty mad, isn't it?
I've been put in like rat runs and hide holes before. It's quite funny. Like when they had Walking Dead, it was the outside one where they had the bus and stuff. It was a few years back. The group we were with were like really annoying, and the actors could see that we were getting annoyed by them.
Oh, I remember you telling me about
when the actors, as soon as we got off, took me and my friend to the side, chucked us into a rat run, and just like went, wait here, and left us there for like 2-3 minutes. While the rest of the group went, and then it was just the two of us being abused by actors the rest of the way, because all of the actors were able to focus on us then. It was very funny. I've accidentally gone into hide holes as well.
Oh, the first time I ever did Mine Tours, when it was its first year, so we're talking like 8 years ago, I think. I was at the front of the queue. I was at the front of the group, and this was back when they had the lanterns.
Oh yeah.
So like it used to be, obviously,
the haunted lantern type thing.
Yeah, you had the haunted lanterns, and I didn't know this till recently, but the actors could control the lanterns. I didn't realize that.
Really?
Yeah, someone told me like who's worked on the maze for ages was like the actors themselves, certain actors had control over your lantern, so they could turn it off with a switch. Wow. Turn it back on again, so they could turn it off, get in your face, turn it back on again, turn it off.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
they've kind of replaced that with that pre-show bit, then, haven't they? With the shaft.
They've always had that. They've always had that shaft bit.
Okay.
It didn't used to be as like impressive as it was now, but they've always had some kind of shaft preview,
some way down
pre-show. Yeah, like you felt like you was going down. But like, so yeah, that was when. So I was at the front, and I remember this time because I was like, I don't want to go at the front. This is when I was really scared of scare mazes, and honestly, every time I was going into these mazes, I felt like I was having like a panic attack because I was like, why am I doing this? Why the hell am I doing this? And then, but like, I'd do it and then really enjoy it. But yeah, the first time I did it, I ran out there fire exit because I just saw light. And I got so scared. I just thought that's the exit. So I ran out, and then it was just like I went out, and I was like, "Thank God that's over." And then my mate was just like, "We've got to go back in. This is the fire exit. You can't. You got to come back." I'm like, "I don't want to go back in." And then we had to do the whole thing. Just me and him, but then the problem was Joe was behind me, so Joe had to do the rest of it with no light, so it was even darker.
Jesus,
because that maze used to be pretty much pitch black. It still is now, but when it was the haunted lanterns, there was hardly any lights in there whatsoever. It was just like one torch like shining the way.
Wow.
No, Sam, there was no reason. We was told no reason why I don't think anybody asked that actually at the Q&A.
I think, to be honest, I personally think I haven't been told it, but I'm just thinking like it's just another thing. Like, obviously, COVID is still a thing. Like,
yeah,
I
putting
just don't
helmets on,
think they.
suppose,
I
yeah.
just don't think it's just like another thing that they don't necessarily need. It's like a danger.
And
You
it
know what I
does
mean?
it would slow down batching slightly.
Yeah.
Having to get them on.
They're
fitted,
having to
make sure it's
wipe them all
working.
down. They know that it works without the lanterns. So
It really, yeah. Well, from what I've
they do
experienced,
have
it-
the lanterns still. They still have them, but they're just not using them. And I'm guessing that's just because, like, what's the point in doing that unnecessary risk, really?
Yeah, for
So,
sure. That's probably
Mm.
why. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good question though. Right.
Yeah.
Well, have we covered everything?
I think so. I think I've done a load of other Sandlone scare events, but I think probably I'll talk about them next week.
Yeah.
Halloween episode.
Yeah, definitely. But no, that's it. 10th episode.
You mean this,
done,
you mean this
man.
wasn't the Halloween episode?
No, this
Mate,
is just
because
Well, no,
this
this is
Sadra.
this is
Kyle's
pre-Halloween.
World Tour.
This is pre-Halloween.
Mikhaile's World Tour.
We have to have a post-Halloween. one.
Tonight on Mikhaile's World.
This is like Halloween featuring Poland.
Yeah.
This is
No.
the pre-Halloween show.
This is Poland featuring Halloween, bro.
Yeah. Get right. Well, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's listening, everybody who's watching right now as well on our YouTube channel. If you are listening to this on podcast formats, we are live every Wednesday at 7:30 on YouTube, and you can subscribe to our channel, notifications on, and you won't miss when we go live.
And
Oh yeah,
congratulations for making it this far.
yeah. Just a quick one. KA Coasters. I'm champion. I won one of
Indeed.
the quizzes
Oh,
that
yeah.
they ran.
Miss-
Cool.
Mr.
So
I
I'm
got-
now through. I'm now through to the champions of champions. And yes, James, I did ask you to listen to Popmaster, and he went, I had a little bit of an idea.
Yeah, to be honest,
So-
I watched,
Mr. I
Yeah.
got no chance.
It was close.
Very
I
close.
watched that stream. Oh well, I watched the quiz, and well done, Luke. Considering half the questions were, what date was our trip to Alton Towers?
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, like, when did this open? When did that open? Who built this? Who built that? And they're like, when did we go to Alton Towers? I was like, quick guess. Yeah, quick guess.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
it was
cool.
good. It was good. It was a good video. I enjoyed that quiz, watching it.
Yeah, it
and
was
playing-
fun.
playing back at home.
Really fun to be part of. as
Definitely
well.
recommend people tuning into them.
Yeah,
quizzes.
KA
They're
Coasters,
really
go
fun.
over, subscribe. Again, notifications on
Absolutely.
so you don't miss when they drop a video. Yeah, guys, it's been a fun episode. It's been great to have everybody back. We'll have Aaron back next week as well, where we can
Yeah.
talk about Halloween at Alton Towers, which is good.
Looking forward to hearing
Yeah.
about that.
I just want to
that's
say,
going to be quite a weekend to
Yeah.
recap on.
Sure.
I just want to
Halloween,
say,
right.
like, even though we had 2 weeks off, like, the fact that we didn't miss an episode for like 9 episodes, I'm gonna say pretty good. And,
That is-
And we did have some
Solid
shit go
achievement.
down. Like, between us
Yeah,
all, we had
yeah.
shit go down in between them episodes.
it was like
so,
a
like-
perfect storm, weren't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Major
so
crap.
we're back now for the foreseeable as well. So yeah, it's all good.
I've got a couple weeks away planned. though.
Apart from James, James
Oh,
has
yeah.
got his
That-
car
well-
now. He's just driving around everywhere.
I mean,
Find him at
the
every
whole-
drive-through.
Yeah,
in the
I've got
country.
another trip to Bournemouth, and then I've got
Are you-
Norway.
tell
in
tell
December.
them what you told me when you got home. Like you went out and drove to a certain restaurant and got certain things, and then drove back. That was your first trip.
yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. Standard first trip once you pass your test. McDonald's drive-through.
Yeah,
Got to be done.
That's
When,
the-
when,
that was
when
it.
I passed my driving test, like I was fine with everything, but the drive-throughs are the ones that got me because I was always just like, you don't have your perception just like as good. So like when you go through some of these small drive-throughs, you're like, I'm gonna hit that
Yeah.
barrier.
It took a little while to get used to.
Yeah.
I was
Do
fine.
you want to hear something even more amusing? Though? My first trip was down to Morrison's.
Yeah.
I passed my
Of
test.
course
I'm off
it
to
was.
Morrison's.
Yeah, standard.
That's so Yorkshire. It's unbelievable.
Quite literally. And it was my tea bags, so that's even more Yorkshire.
Was it Yorkshire tea though?
It was. Oh yeah. Is there any other kind of tea? It has to be Yorkshire tea.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah,
We've got a banner
I
for
agree.
this, haven't
I
we?
agree.
Other teas are
No.
available.
Yorkshire Hour.
Yorkshire
There it is.
Oh, Yorkshire. Hour.
Yorkshire hour.
Yorkshire.
I can't remember.
Oh,
I can't
not
remember what I did.
Sherlock.
I can't remember where I drove when I passed my test, which I probably should. It was only last year.
Now we need Luke. Luke,
I
can't
just
remember.
need.
You need to press the test, dude.
Oh, when I first got my motorbike, I got a speeding fine within the first like 2 hours of having my bike because I didn't know there was a speed camera there. I was racing my mates in the fucking park. Well, yeah, that was fun.
Was that the one where you were racing him while he was on a push bike?
Yes,
Was it that one?
I won. I have the photo finish to prove it.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It didn't flash. I didn't flash 100%.
Yorkshire.
But yeah,
Nice.
no, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. Like I said, we're back now, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you do. Make sure you follow all our links in the video descriptions below.
Just to mention as well, we are back. I won't be here for a couple of weeks in November for reasons that I don't want to give away yet. But I won't be around for like a couple, 1 or 2 episodes in November.
November. What's going on in November?
I'm not saying anything. Well, I mean, I probably already have said it at some point. Either
I'm pretty sure you have, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
About the 8th of November. I don't know.
I blew up about it like not long ago on Twitter. So
all right, before Mikhile gives
yeah.
away his secrets why he's
yeah.
not going to be here in November, let's end this. Thank you guys for watching.
We are
See
back.
you next time, guys.
See you later.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.